So just a few more minutes podcast. We're three veterans of the animation and video game industry. Talk back like that. Animation video games. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jeff Gabor. I'm an animator at Blue Sky Studios. Alongside me is...
God damn it.
Michael Berardini.
They know who we are by now. Like let's discuss the elephant in the room here. You know?
This is episode 71.
Yes, but you know, we have to explain ourselves a little bit.
We said we were quitting.
We did quit. We're still quitted, but Pete has to introduce himself first.
Okay, I guess we'll get into that. My name is Pete Paquette. I am an animator that resides in Massachusetts, so I'm not really much of anybody. But
His social security number.
I got a lot of experience, so I think I bring something to the table.
And we are not rusty at all, and podcasting comes supernatural.
All right, last time you heard an episode of us, we said we were done.
We are.
We all got all teary-eyed. But we're back. We're not done. We're coming back. We're doing it quarterly, right?
Yeah.
Nope, haven't agreed to anything of that nature.
We'll be back in March for our next episode.
Someone will be here. I mean.
Anyways, this episode is our end of the year wrap-up episode where we talk about our favorite movies and video games of the last year and looking forward to what is to come in 2020. It's one of our favorite episodes of the year. So brought the team back together to do this episode at the very least.
This is the only episode anyone actually gives a shit about every year anyway, so might as well give you a little special gift to start out 2020 with.
Yeah, because it's not starting very well, is it? Anyway, let's go. Let's go.
It also marks our exact 4-year launch date of the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Go back to the video of that first episode and compare this double chin situation. Gotta put this over like Jeff's got it.
Oh, you sound much better like that.
I'm not gonna do it this way the whole time.
Yeah, you do.
No.
You do sound very NPR like that.
Oh, I did like that when we first started it. It was like, holy shit, we sound pretty professional, and then everything just went downhill.
Yeah, now it's like your breath is in my soul.
Oh, let me jingle some ice.
Oh, you're starting to get the Kylo Ren thing going now.
I don't know what that means.
like the overamped voice modular.
Oh, I could do a spoiler for the movie, but I won't.
Are we discussing that at all?
We'll keep spoilers to anything at the end if we want to go into that, because we have traditionally talked about Star Wars on the podcast whenever it comes out. So there's a lot to fit into this. This is gonna be a big chunk of an episode. So let's dive right in. Every episode starts the same way. Oh, Michael. I mean, he's definitely trying to make sure there's not another episode at this point.
No.
Okay. All right. So every episode starts the same way. Animation tip. No exception here. I thought of one. It's not a great one.
I got a lot on. I still got a bunch on my phone if you need one.
Well, I was thinking, a lot of our listeners still use Maya. We use Maya. Yeah. Disney uses Maya. So something that's starting to become more and more integrated into pipeline is caching systems.
Mm-hmm.
Caching your animation as you go along. So I wanted to give a quick tip about when and when not to use caching, or at least be cognizant of not letting it slow you down if you don't want it to be on. So basically the tip is if you find that it's constantly caching each time you make a decision, and it's basically doing an elaborate play blast every time you change your animation and you're waiting for the cache, don't be afraid to turn it right back off and while you're blocking, especially because you're not actually doing playback. So you don't need the 24 frames per second feedback in your viewport with the caching on. So turn it off. And that way you prevent the caching from taking place. And then when you're splining, turn it right back on, and then that way you can take advantage of the real time viewport play blasting. So something to keep in mind. Don't just let the settings sit there.
That actually means nothing to me lately. I haven't dealt with caching since I left Blue Sky. So
it has changed. That is for sure.
That's pretty crazy.
Pete, do you have an animation tip to share with us?
Well, let's think about that. I have to find my list that I have in my phone still. I don't think I actually got rid of the note. Why don't you guys
don't mind me?
Find it.
Michael is just trying to tank this.
I'm just playing the new Spies in Disguise mobile game.
Oh, how
Agents
is it?
on the Run. Check it out.
There it is.
Oh, it's a runner.
That's Marcy.
Hey, it's Marcy. Oh my gosh, is that Garishikuma's run cycle?
No, definitely not. But
well, that's cool. So
wrong way.
As a sidebar, Spies in Disguise came out on Christmas Day, so you can check it out now. It's basically been the movie we've been talking about the entirety of the podcast. So
that's true. I was thinking about that. Did we start the podcast while we were working on it? Do you think?
While I was working on it, yes. I think you were still finishing up Ferdinand.
Wow.
You were definitely finishing up Ferdinand. You were starting out.
It was that long of a production?
Yeah, I was on it for nearly 4 years.
That's crazy.
But it's out now, and people like it. I would say the most common review from all the random Twitter people that I just happen to look when I do hashtag Spies in Disguise, the most common phrase is, "This was way better than I thought it was going to be." And it's true. It's a movie about a spy that gets turned into a pigeon, and you're like, that premise is a little not very cinematic or something. Then you go and see it, and it's like, oh shit, this is good. This has some depth. This is funny. These characters are likable. We've got some cool music, some fun action. Go see the fucking movie. Pay the fucking money for it.
May I say that's on my list, but no spoilers. Anyway.
Kiss. Your kiss is on my list, buddy.
Anyway,
what? That kiss, your kiss is on my list.
Oh my god, is that Hall & Oates?
Yeah, the young animation students that listen to this podcast totally get this reference.
Hall & Oates, my god. Anyway, so I got a good video game tip for people.
Oh, perfect. Hit us with that.
So one of the biggest things you have to do when you start animating a character in a game is find the base mechanics, the base locomotion, and making sure that feels right. That is the idle, which basically you start with a pose, right? And then you build the idle off that, and then you build basically everything off of that, and it branches out. That locomotion is to include runs, walks, cycles, etc. Where you start in and out of in that idle pose, it's very important for it to be appealing and dynamic, but not necessarily pushed. So many times I see poses, like base poses, that are, and the reason why I say that is because it is really hard to get in and out of those poses and make it feel natural. So many times I've had to basically wrestle a natural feeling animation into a really like dynamic idle pose. So just make sure that, like, if you're in an idle pose, you want it to feel comfortable. Like you could easily get in and out of it. You don't want it to feel all tense and huge and everything like that, because then it blends really poorly. So that's my note anyway.
That's a good tip.
I mean, sort of going off it from the feature side, back in my junior animation days, Like you're saying, not making it too crazy dynamic. Same goes for background idle cycles and stuff too. If you do something very iconic and like big motion, people are gonna see that, and then those cycles are proliferated to the crowds department, and then that huge motion is just gonna be like every fourth guy doing this fucking same wave, and it's gonna be super obvious in a crowd. So don't do that. Look at us. Yep. We all did animation tips. It's like we work in the business or something.
Good tip, though.
You didn't hear anything I said. You weren't paying attention at all.
Don't make those BG character cycles too wacky, zany, standoutish. They don't work, man. They don't work. I get you. I'm feeling you. I was part of that. I supervised some background animations.
But did you do it? You think you're so much better than us?
No, I didn't do any.
I started as a background animator on robots.
Damn straight you did. That's where us grunts get our skills.
It was a long time ago.
Bootstrapped.
Have I ever had to do something for background?
What white privilege you have. Jesus Christ.
I'm an elitist bastard.
I've done a lot. Thank you very much. I have.
I believe you.
Yeah, you worked on that movie in... Delgo, yeah.
Yeah, it got passed up as it was in the news lately. You know, it used to be like one of the biggest box office failures, and the new movie that came out a couple weeks ago. What's the name? Playmobil overtook Delgo as like biggest box office disaster.
That sucks.
Yeah, well,
it's pretty cool.
It's not very often you can get from one end of the spectrum to the other in the term of your career. So that's pretty remarkable, actually. If you think about like Howard Scott Warshaw and like how he made Yar's Revenge and E.T. You know, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy to be able to hit that spectrum. You know?
Yeah. Anybody want to move on to our recap stuff?
That's the whole reason we're here.
Yeah. Well,
pretty sure you clipped there. All right, so you guys want to jump into video games or movies first? Talking about
what's more important
2019. Let's start with
settle in here.
Let's start with games, okay?
That's the order I had it in. It's Michael's top 6.
This is where I'm going to admit I didn't really play anything this last year.
What a surprise.
I know. So I got a lot to contribute in movies and animation this year, but unfortunately I do not have much to contribute this round. I played a lot of Rocket League, played Enter the Gungeon, I played Celeste. It's all the same games for the past 3 years. I played a lot more Fortnite, Call of Duty.
You could rank them still.
I know. But this is
everyone's time. Here's the thing, Jeff. Here's the thing. Similarly for me, I've been spending a ton of my time working on Croom. So what I do is I just play a bunch of them and get different experiences based off the first few minutes or first few hours of the game. And then if it stuck with me, I went back and played it again.
All right. With that, in that vein, I will give you a few of them that I really liked this year. Just pulling out my Switch real quick. Link's Awakening, love it. Mario Maker 2, great. Dead Cells didn't come out this last year, but I liked it. Tetris 99, big pimpin'.
Weren't we gonna do like a round robin here, or you just kind of like?
Nah, he wanted to do this for like the past 6 months or whatever. Now he's just like, fuck it. Here's all my shit. Here's my tiny dick, and I'm just gonna plop it on the table.
All right. Well, our last episode we did it based on person. We didn't round. Oh no, we did round robin it, didn't we?
We always have.
All right, so my first one is Tetris 99.
Nice. Got anything to say about it? Or are you just gonna list it, or
did it come out this year?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think it did.
If it did, it was
okay.
Very.
All right.
Doesn't matter. It's on your list. Tell us about it.
It's a podcast. Fortnite with Tetris. Great game. It's fun. It had to have come out this last year because of Extra Life. The previous year, we didn't get to do Tetris 99.
Fair.
So Tetris 99, it's you versus 98 other people, I believe. It could be 99, but I think it's 98 other people. It's a total of 99 people. And you basically send blocks to each other. All 99 of you are in a battle, and it's got now achievements and unlockable like wallpaper and that kind of stuff where you can kind of change the look of the game. Tournaments go on regularly. I don't know. It's one of the more addicting games because you just want to keep going back in and say, I can get a little bit further. I think I've only been able to get first place 3 times, and that's over the last entire year. It is serious business. So, but it's an easy game to just like pick up for one game and then put right back down. So I'm a big fan of those games so you don't have to like dump 20 hours in at a time.
Yeah.
I never played it at all.
I haven't played it either.
Too intimidating. I'm not good at Tetris. Don't know how it would work with 98 other people. And you had to originally, maybe you still do, have to have the online subscription thing.
Yes, to play against other people. And the game,
I ain't doing that.
Yeah, the game was free for people that had the online subscription. But now there's a lot of different features in the game, like playing couch co-op or versus. You have to purchase the DLC and that kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool.
It is fun.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you're still playing games.
I got more. All right. Go, Pete.
All right.
So the game that I played a lot of this year, and you guys are going to hate me for this,
Maybe.
is actually a golf game.
Hatred here.
The Club 2. Been playing the living crap out of it, like because I can play like 9 holes or whatever and just put it away.
Was it a mobile game or something?
No, it's on the Xbox.
Oh, then you're a real gamer.
Yeah.
The Golf Club too?
Yeah, it didn't come out this year, but I basically started getting into it this year.
2017.
It is the mechanics of the golf game is so spot on. It feels like real golf. The presentation is a little muddy, but like the physics and everything feel just like real golf. Like just as frustrating yet rewarding when you actually sink a hole. It's really great game.
I don't want this to sound derogatory in any way, Pete, because it's not meant to be. But do you play golf for real?
Not for real. I mean, I do it to go out, drink with my friends, and
sure, totally. All right, cool.
And I never actually. When I went out to BlizzCon this past year with my friends, the old Blue Skyers, we went golfing, and those guys can fucking golf. Really? Holy shit! Yeah, like I was like, they're like, hey, you want to go for a round of golf? And I was like, it was John Collins and Ryan Denniston. You know, remember those guys?
Oh, I remember those things.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you want to go to a round of golf? I was like, yeah, I'm totally down. Let's go out, have some beers, and just shoot the ball around. But these guys, man, we went to a PGA Tour golf course, and they played it without losing many balls. And I bought a case of balls because I felt bad, like I didn't want to use everybody's ball because I knew I was going to lose a bunch. I went through the entire case.
You guys weren't playing like what's it called? Like when you use the main guy's like lead ball or whatever.
Longest ball. We did end up playing that, but I ended up playing that, but I felt kind of like guilty doing that in the very beginning. And then finally like, dude, it's totally fine. Relax, man. Just play the game and have fun.
Yeah.
So, but I was just like ashamed, I guess, at first. But they, So yes, I do attempt to play golf, but it's never in the pretense of being anything serious.
Well, that's cool. I throw no shade at a good golf game. I was all about that hot shots and shit back in the day.
I was gonna say, yeah. You were digging that.
And Hot Shots, and then the new one that came out on PS4 that they changed the name of, and I played it in, or 2 years ago, Extra Life, and all I did was make Tab
Everybody's
as
golf.
a character. Everybody's golf. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then everyone said it wasn't a very interesting game to watch on stream, so then I stopped playing it. Okay. My turn now?
Yep.
In lieu of a Zelda game, because we were all waiting for Link's Awakening. But before that, what did we have? We had Cadence of Hyrule, Crypt of the Necrodancer featuring Legend of Zelda, an indie rhythm roguelike video game. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did not like it at first. I played Crypt of the Necrodancer a long time ago. Didn't like that at all. Because it's one of those games where you really have to get into the zone and start to like really feel the mechanics before the game can get fun. And I think they tweaked it somehow in this one because it was pretty fun from the get-go. I think it's just a little more lenient. And it is basically just a really good fucking Zelda game that had some dope-ass beats. Put some beats on some Zelda music, jump around to the beat, kill some shit. You got yourself a perfect game right there. That's Michael's top 6 video games.
It was on sale. It was on sale the last few weeks.
Did you buy it?
I didn't. No.
I played a demo of it. Really cool game, though. Really cool.
And it's like, I believe it was procedurally generated based on like your save file. Mm-hmm. So you could go back and play it, and like generally, you know, this dungeon will be up north and this one will be east or whatever. But it was really good. It was like a legitimately good Zelda game. Because I was craving that Zelda. I played Cadence of Hyrule over our trip when we were in France. And like the week before our trip to France, they had announced Link's Awakening, and I was just like dying for that. But this satiated my thirst bucket. It plopped that liquid into that bucket so good it was brimming. Dripping down the side of my thirst bucket.
Oh boy.
Splashing on the floor of my dirty, dirty bathroom.
This is getting into some strange territory here.
Well, got a lot of pent-up moistness in me. I gotta get it out. I'm just waiting for Jeff to fucking come in and...
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go with my next game is Killer Queen Black.
Hey, you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that game was great.
It's fun.
I didn't actually play it.
If you can play it with a couple people, a couple buddies, like couch co-op wise, so you can really communicate, it's a lot of fun. And it released on the Switch a little bit earlier than some of the other consoles. But it's basically pixel art. And you have a bunch of like bee-type wasp characters that are flying around, and they're different warriors, and they can win several different ways on the course. And it's like you versus another team, all trying to pick your avenue of winning, whether you like ride this one particular snail across the finish line, or you kill their queen 3 times, or if you take all these like little eggs and put them in their little pod holes and win. So you're trying to do that yourself while you're trying to keep an eye on the other team also achieving that. And you have little weapons and you can slow them down. So it's a lot of communication and keeping your eye on what's going on. It's a really fast, fun game. Definitely party game. So it's great.
Does it require a party?
No. You can play solo. There's party matching online. So you can do that. It's now available on, I think, Xbox and PlayStation now. Definitely Xbox now. So that's probably a good way to go about it. Yeah, it was supposed to come out in December. I never looked into it, but because I have it for the Switch already. I will say on the Switch, definitely saw some like dropped frames here and there and that kind of thing. Some little issues. So I bet it plays a little bit better on the faster consoles.
I will say we played it at Extra Life, and it is a very good party game. Do not like the controls on it.
Yeah, they're a little weird.
I don't remember if they were like super floaty or not floaty enough.
It felt like they were delayed, is what it felt like. So you would hit your jump, and it would be like a few microseconds before you'd see the action take place. And considering we were playing a lot of other games that night and didn't feel that on anything else, it wasn't a TV setting or something like that. It was just the game felt just like not quite right. And you as the queen, like doing your attack moves, I feel like the button combinations on how to strike down or strike sideways, and the way you like you do this like horizontal dash move, but it slightly has this like down kind of like gravity pull to it, which makes it kind of unpredictable in what you're doing, and ends up being kind of it feels like you don't quite have the control you want.
Yeah, there was like when you play it, you can either choose or like request to be chosen as the queen or one of the worker bees, and like you would expect that game for everyone to be vying to play like the queen because that's the most important character, you can do the most damage, etc. But I was always just like, no thank you, those controls suck, because you're the queen and you're able to fly, but in order to fly you just have to spam the jump button constantly, and with that gravity thing that Jeff was talking about, it's just like feels like gravity's always pushing you down, and it's just not very fun to control. I found being the worker bees to be super fun because you can do all sorts of fun stuff. So,
oh man, that just brings back shades of track and field 2. Remember those games? Track and field 2.
Oh yeah,
Track and field 2 was the first game I was really exposed to that sort of gameplay where you have to just sit there and mash buttons as fast as you can to make something happen. And the faster you can mash the buttons, the better outcome is.
Yep.
It's like, man, fuck that. I actually went out and bought an NES Max because of that stupid game.
So funny. All right, what's your next one, buddy? Pete.
My next one is my friend Gwen's game Kind.
All right.
I had a lot of fun playing it, and it's a really unique puzzler, and it's got a lot of character to it.
And it's got like some story stuff to it too, as well, right?
Yeah, it's got a story element of trying to make a band. So
it's pretty cool.
They're going on this, trying to find each other and stuff. It's really cool. The
Nice.
music's great too. So I think it's on like everything.
Is it? I thought it was just Steam.
No, I think it's on Xbox and Switch.
I think it's actually exclusive to the. It's not on Steam. It's on the Epic Game Store. She struck that deal with Epic.
Oh, right. I remember that thing. Hey, I'm spelling it wrong. No, I'm not.
Kind. It's Kine.
Yeah, but I searched Kind, and the first thing that came up was noun, cows collectively. Interesting. And then all the videos are Kind. Cool.
I will say it is a challenging puzzle game. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. So it's because I genuinely suck at those. So. But it's very challenging to me anyway.
I have a very challenging puzzle game in my honorable mentions that I'll talk about as well that you would probably hate. But my number 5, speaking of The Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
Link's Awakening.
Wake up. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool game.
It's a great game.
Did you ever play? You did say you played the Game Boy one.
I did, and a very long time ago. I think the way my Zelda history goes was Ocarina of Time was my first, and then I believe Link's Awakening DX was my second Zelda game I ever played, and then Majora's Mask came out. It's probably like that. Maybe it's interspersed somewhere. I don't know the schedules. But this one was very near and dear to my heart, but it was also a very long time ago. Only ever played it once. So this was sort of like a brand new game. There was definitely some things I remembered and some things I didn't. And I remembered it being pretty hard. And playing it this time, I thought it was an incredibly easy game, except for very, very obscure puzzle solutions, and I wouldn't even call them puzzles. It's just in order to progress the game, you need to cut this random bush at the far side of the map, and that will lead you to some stairs that leads to a dungeon. It's like, well, that's not level design. That's just stupid.
That's old school level design.
Yeah.
Very, very old school level design.
And I think that only really occurred once. The rest of it was like legitimate puzzles and stuff, and that just felt like a bizarre happenstance. But I thoroughly loved it. Loved the design of it. I don't mind that it's all cutesy and stuff. The tilt shift and everything, I thought they used very well. There was some,
It looked pretty cool.
yeah. Although I don't know what's going on with Nintendo, but there was some lag on the game.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if it was from the tilt shift, because the game doesn't look like it's fucking a powerhouse. Maybe it is for the Switch under the hood or something, but there was a lot of frame stuttering and stuff, and I was very surprised by that.
Yep.
But great game. Other major flaw with it is too short.
I wanted to talk. I never played the original, so I didn't get to experience some of the cool stuff in there. But I think my favorite part of that game was seeing an appearance of a Mario Brothers 2 character in there that had been like missing from the lore of Mario forever. It was so cool.
Wait, who?
Wart.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So
Wart from he was the main villain.
Mario 2 is like the only major, I think, Mario game that doesn't feature Bowser as the main villain. It's this character named Wart. And basically, because I think the whole like weirdness with Mario 2 and how it only really came out in the United States, and is it a real Mario game? It's like, is Wart like a canon character? So he's been kind of forgotten, and it was cool to see him in that game. It's like, oh crap, there he is! Nintendo acknowledging Wart happened. Cool.
Do you think
he's
Wart
the frog guy?
Mm-hmm.
Was Wart in Doki Doki Panic?
It had to have been, yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's why it's like not really seen anywhere else, because it was probably native to the original version of the game.
Let's see. Yeah, Wart is the boss ending. The final boss battle in Doki Doki Panic.
Yeah.
And they just called him Wart. They must have had the time. They must have scrambled to make that game, because all they changed was the main characters.
But other characters have become canon, like Shy Guy. Like he's seen in Mario Kart and all that now.
Yeah.
No. Anyways, I really love that part. All right, I'll move on to my next game. And Michael, I need a little bit of help from this one. I've been trying to remember the name of it for a while. We played it during Extra Life, and I thought it was so fun and so cool. I really have been aching to play it again, but it's really just a party game. Was it the
one where you fucking made me eat the goddamn chicken milkshake?
What? Do you remember the name of the game?
It's like Chicken Horse Box or something.
Yeah. So the concept of the game is,
I'll look it up.
It's multiplayer. It works best with like a couch co-op.
Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Yes, Ultimate Chicken Horse. So you're all playing, and you get to turn by turn make these platformer levels against your opponents. And so once you are scrambling to make this platformer level literally at the same time, like a Google document, you then all have to race to the finish line. And if you screwed yourselves and made it impossible, then nobody gets awarded any points. So you got to try to make it so it's winnable as well. So it's like a race to the finish line mixed with like you just made the hard platformer for everybody else, but you get awarded for creating situations that cause death as well. So you want to kill your opponents. It was fun. It really like smart game design, I thought. It was cool.
That's cool. I'm gonna check that out.
You like it because you won.
I did win. There was that
again. Is it more of a party game, or is it
definitely? Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you can even play it online against other people. I'm sure there's a version of it, but it just wouldn't have the same effect.
Yeah.
The internet says modes multiplayer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If it's not multiplayer online, then I think you're kind of screwed. It's
fun though. I mean, I will say, even though I lost like atrociously. If you go back and watch it, I just made mistake after mistake after mistake, and 80% of them were my fault because I just didn't play well. But like the going back to Killer Queen Black, we played that, and I think we immediately jumped into this, and it was like, oh, this is the way a platformer like this should fucking feel.
Yeah, it felt tight.
This is good.
Yeah, it felt tight.
Yeah.
Cool. Pete?
I'm going to check that out. Let's see. Next on my list is a 16-bit throwback called Blazing Chrome. It's a throwback to the old Contra games. And it is sexy as hell. And it is hard as nails, man. It is tough. But it's so well done in its presentation. And it feels really fun to play.
I remember seeing a trailer for this bad boy.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, is it all side scroller? Does it have any like weird 3D moments in it or anything like that?
Nothing too crazy from what I remember. I played it a lot during the summer.
Yeah.
So it's pretty standard. Standard side scrolling, like kind of like Contra 3.
Awesome, man. Looks fun.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's you could play with somebody else at the same time. So it's pretty cool.
Gotta do that. My number 4 is a game you can't physically play with anyone else, but you can connect with them. Number 4, Death Stranding. If we had graphics, flames would come across the screen.
So you really liked it, huh?
I did like it. And, you know, a lot of people didn't like it. Jeff, lean back. Get ready. Strap yourself in.
Yeah, here we go.
I will say there was a big roller coaster for me, and I think a lot of people. You know, the initial announcement of it, it's like, holy fuck, what is this game? It looks amazing and trippy as balls, but what is the gameplay? And then slowly more trailers came out with gameplay stuff, and it's like, doesn't look quite as good as I had hoped. And by the time launch was coming out, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to play it. And then what convinced me was seeing all the reviews that were so varied. Some people really loved it, and some people fucking despised it. And it's like, okay, that's a game for me, because I usually like games that people really dislike. And lo and behold, I really did like it. And I mean, the story is bonkers and makes a small amount of sense in a very weird Japanese Hideo Kojima sort of way. But honestly, what I liked the most about it was the gameplay. And the gameplay is incredibly limited. Essentially, it's a walking simulator where you have to keep your balance for a while until you can upgrade stuff and get vehicles. You get a motorcycle, then you can get a truck, and then you can get like little trolleys that if you want to walk, those can float behind you and you can carry more stuff. And basically it's a glorified UPS delivery game.
So that's pretty interesting. Is it fun?
That's another thing. I don't know. Cuz like it's a roller coaster of fun and not having fun. I ended it on sort of a sour note because I was trying to go for the platinum, and that just required way too much stuff, so I just had to fucking cut myself off. But like the moment to moment is pretty much travel. They essentially made a game completely out of like side quest, fetch quest missions, where you basically trek to an area and they're like, hey, can you take this somewhere else? And then you take it, and it's all physically represented. And your body can only carry so much stuff. You have a backpack, and you can upgrade yourself with like a power exoskeleton suit so you can carry more stuff. And then eventually you'll get a truck, which will allow you to fit even more stuff in the truck. But you can't use the truck really essentially well unless you have enough resources to build roads. which will allow you to drive quickly to somewhere else like an interstate. And the one thing that I haven't touched on yet is the connectivity with all the other players. You never see another player in the game ever, but you can see all of their handiwork throughout the game. And the whole game is like essentially built on this sort of relationship between you and others. You have things that you can build that will show up in other people's game. For example, the smallest of which is a ladder. You come to a wall that you can't climb, someone else puts a ladder there, and now there's a ladder in your game that you can use. And, the game awards you for being helpful to others. And ultimately I think the game's like overall theme and message is positivity and how you can help others even by the smallest thing that you do. So you're at the top of a mountain and you need to get down fast. You can just plop in a rope that will allow you and anyone else that ever comes across that rope to go down the mountain a lot quicker. And then they reward you with likes. And then you can also like their equipment as well. So it's essentially a delivery game that encourages you to help others and for them to help you. And you have positive interactions by giving each other likes.
So how does the story intertwine with that?
The story is, if I'm being honest, a pretty like basic premise where you start on the East Coast and there's been some terrible like apocalyptic shit that has essentially destroyed society across America. And your job is to start from the East Coast and move all the way to the West Coast, creating a network, essentially a new internet that all these cities along the way can connect to. And there's like some sci-fi bullshit. There's it's called the chiral network, which is built off of the crystal shit that's from another dimension that was because of the Death Stranding. Sci-fi bullshit doesn't matter. It's basically just a way for everyone to connect to each other, and then through the network they're allowed to like 3D print stuff and make food and everything. And it's just a story of connectivity between people. And it was really good. And I spent a lot of fucking time in that game, dude. Like a lot. So definitely earned a spot on my list.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Mario Maker for the next one. Mario Maker 2, that is. I had a lot of fun playing that at the beginning of the summer. It came out. You can make your own Mario levels. You can play other people's Mario levels. Gives you all the tools and the toolkits. It was a lot of fun actually jumping right into playing like the levels of Joe Antonuccio's kids. Like they brought in their Switch and I was playing theirs. It's really fun. And then watching people on Twitch play super bastardized, crazy versions. So I am surprised that it died off for me as quickly because it felt really good, like I was like kind of making a game. But you start to realize all the levels that everybody makes are kind of like gotcha type levels. You gain an appreciation for level design by seeing how badly it can be produced over and over and over again. So that's the only kind of failure of that. It's fun to make it for yourself and fun to see your friends play it, but it wears out its welcome a little bit when you start playing so many crappy ones where people just dump as many turtles in a level as possible and warp you. Like a very common thing is like, here's 5 pipes, 4 out of the 5 lead to straight death. There's no like, it's just guess and check, and that's lame.
So. That's Link's Awakening level design strategy right there.
Yeah, learned through trial and error. So, but it was a great game, and they've recently added a bunch of new stuff too. So if you haven't played it in a while, they've added some new stuff. So you
can make Zelda levels now.
Make a bunch of stuff, bunch of cool stuff. It's a neat game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
So the next one, this is gonna be weird, but no one's ever heard of it. But it's called Halloween Forever, and it's a very simple like NES inspired game, but because it's not, the controller's not supported on it and everything, so you got to like use Joy to Key or something to play it.
It's funny.
But I'm telling you, it's like if you go through that and play the game, you'll have a lot of fun with it. But,
I mean, it looks pretty simplistic, but usually simplistic means really fun gameplay.
yeah, I see. Like the thing about my choices for the most part is like the ones that kind of stuck with me. Like, they might not be like the big name titles and stuff, but
No, your choices summarize you well, Petrie.
Yes, thank you.
Unless you have like Playboy the film, the movie.
The game.
As your next. Yeah. That's what I meant. I said movie twice. All right, number 3 is a game I don't think enough people played. Control.
Control?
Yeah. You guys, you know that one?
No.
It's the one where you play as the lady inside of, fuck, it's been a while since I played it. The Federal Bureau of something. Fuck, I don't know. Not investigation, but essentially you're a lady going into this crazy building inside of New York City that is essentially like an area where dimensions overlap, sort of. It's a place of power. That's how they put it in the game. And it's called The Oldest House, which suggests it's been around for a while and very ancient. And it's basically like sort of your average third-person shooter, but done exceptionally well and with really cool abilities. It's not just like a run and gun, take cover and shoot. You have surreal powers. You can fly through the air. You have kinesis. You have actually a lot of the stuff that they ended up putting in the new Star Wars game too. But it's cool because like it's very, very Lynchian, David Lynch. And the design of it is like super legit and cool. Like you'll walk into a new area in the game and like the fucking cool ass music is pumping, and then the titles of the name of the area you are pop up, and like the font that they use is so slick, and it just makes you feel like a badass. It's very cinematic, and it was right up my alley. There's a lot of games like it, but I think this is definitely like polished beyond perfection. There's one level, we'll call it, like sort of near the end of the game, maybe called the Ashtray Maze, which is like the most bonkers the game gets. And it's like you're in the maze and you're like walking through a building that is kaleidoscoping in front of you, and it's all playable, and every piece of the kaleidoscope is a platform that you can jump on, and you're fighting enemies. And the song in that specific scene is like fucking crazy. It's a really cool game, and you should give it a shot.
You were playing this during Extra Life as well, right?
Yeah, I was actually. Yeah.
Control. What was it for?
I think it's on everything. It's from the team, the studio that brought you Alan Wake and Max Payne. What are they called? Team Bondi or something? No, that's someone else.
I'm not sure, Mikey.
Alan Wake was a cool game.
Yeah, and this like fits into that universe, that cinematic universe.
Oh, really?
It's basically the premise. I didn't explain it very well. The premise of the building that she's in is like the headquarters of the American government dealing with all paranormal, unexplainable events. And, you know, even in the game, there's like reference to this writer, Alan Wake, and the shit that he experiences. And it's like any unexplainable thing in the world is filtered through this place.
That's cool.
Remedy, that's the developer. There you go.
Cool.
Yep.
I'll jump in with another one. I'm just gonna go ahead and re-talk about Link's Awakening. I should have just talked more about it when you were talking. So I said that was one of mine. We could just skip over me. We could, but
if you don't have anything to say, we can move on, Jeffrey.
I was just really excited about that one. It was fun. I played it all. Where I played it the most is when I was out at Skywalker Ranch. Drop that.
Yeah, you're pretty special, pretty cool.
Yeah. It was when they were doing the sound for Spies in Disguise that came out on Christmas Day.
You know when that would have been a better story to tell at the beginning of the podcast, not buried in the middle of the game section. But whatever. It's your podcast, I guess.
Okay.
Not really. Not yours at all.
Definitely not. Jeff's a few more minutes. Wasn't that your wife's idea there?
Was it?
Yeah, to switch it to Jeff's a few more minutes.
Oh, Jeff's. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's your podcast in your brain that you do every night. Fucking lie in bed trying to fall asleep.
All right, I'll talk
Welcome to Jeff's a few more minutes. I'm counting sheep. 1, 2, 3. Oh.
And people are just hanging on every moment. Anyway, so...
All right, so...
Can I go?
But now, I'm going to talk about one more game. I'm going to do it because you guys made fun of it. So
it's not your turn. It's Pete's.
Okay. Pete.
Void Bastards.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun with that game. It's like right in my wheelhouse. Sci-fi, super stylized. And it actually, even though it's like super stylized like that, like the enemies, the environments are 3D. The enemies are all cards that change, kind of like Doom style, but they're really high res. And I thought that would bother me, but it really doesn't, because it really fits the tone of what they were trying to do, as far as like create a old-fashioned comic book of a game.
Yeah, super comic booky.
And it really did a good job. And basically, it's you have this backpack that restarts, that basically latches on to criminals, and then the backpack, like, and then you, as you die, you retain that everything that you collect by like storming ships, and then if you die, they just make another grab another convict or something, and then attach the backpack, and the backpack guides the person through and stuff. It's really kind of a cool concept. And when you die, you start back basically where you began, and then it's kind of like there's a main storyline that moves forward, but it's just a little bit different each time you play it. It's really fun.
I gotta say, I usually don't like cel-shaded graphics. Something about this is right. I feel like they're not using a lot of shadows or something, so it doesn't give away that it's 3D, if you know what I mean, even though obviously it is 3D. You know how like shadows slide across 3D objects in cel shading, and it's like, oh, well, that's the shadow is too perfect. This looks very crisp and clean, and I like it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game, and it's fun too. You get addicted, like basically breaching these ships throughout the galaxy, and like, oh, just one more ship, and it's really a lot of fun.
I might fucking give this a shot.
It is on Xbox Pass. What is it? Xbox
Game Pass.
Game Pass. Yeah, Game Pass. I know it's on there.
It's not on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's on Xbox and PC.
Boo. Sorry, Void Bastards. I won't play you for a while. Looks cool. My number 2. Are you guys ready for it?
Ready.
Yes.
All right. It's a game I know Jeff didn't play. Resident Evil 2.
Definitely not.
Remake. This was the first time I've ever played Resident Evil 2. So if you're a big
I played
survival
the
horror
original
fan,
one.
that would be quite an experience to play the original and then jump into this one to see how it all changed and stuff. Because like when it came out, I was watching YouTube videos of all the differences, and like you sort of take it for granted when you play it because it's just a modern game now. But they just like redid fucking everything for that game.
Yeah.
Even the layout is slightly different. I mean, basically the whole, I want to say first half, maybe it's the first quarter of the game, everything inside of the police station, that's like fucking masterclass in survival horror stuff. I didn't, find it very scary because zombies are stupid. But even Mr. X, you probably don't know who Mr. X is, but he's like this big hulking guy with the hat that just like eventually, once you get further into the police station, he's just like this menacing presence that when you hear him, he steps like fucking loud with every step. So you can hear him very far off and you can plan to avoid him, but it's still just those fucking steps that you hear all the time. And then they get closer and closer, and then he pounds on the door right outside of you and stuff. And like, you knew he was there, but it still somehow freaked the fuck out of you. And it's just like so goddamn good. And it creates tension really well. And like the police station itself, I feel like I mentioned this a lot in a lot of games, but I really like games that have levels that sort of build on themselves. So you know a space in one way, and then you learn more, you unlock stuff, and then more of the space is revealed, and then you go through it, and then it loops back on itself, and it's like, oh, so I just unlocked a shortcut to get here and to do all this sort of stuff.
Like a Metroidvania?
Yeah, a little bit, but like more messy. Although less messy because I guess it's just a building. But whatever. That was by far my favorite part of the game. And then eventually you leave the police station and you're like in the sewers and you're in some other places. And I never felt like it really sung like it did in the police station, but the police station is like so fucking good. That's my number 2 spot of the year.
Cool, man.
And now they just announced Resident Evil 3 remake, which I never played that one either. So I'm real pumped for that one too. Coming next year. That's my number 2.
Cool. So I'll talk about one more game. I thought was really fun. Katana Zero it's on the Switch. Really fun game. It's another pixel art based game. You basically play this assassin that has like reoccurring nightmares, and he can slow down time. Basically, so it's not necessarily he's slowing down time, but he seems to be able to like very like he's like on all these drugs that basically make it so time slows down. His actions are even faster. So you have all these assignments that you need to go through and kill all these certain people, but you're trying to figure out who you are and why you have these particular nightmares and what is behind the nightmares and what is this, who are you and why do you have these abilities, and you're seeing a therapist the whole time, and what is the therapist doing to you, and it's very interesting trying to unravel the story. It becomes like very basic mechanics at the very, very start where you just think it's like, okay, I'm just getting through the killing people, and it's pretty violent, like very violent. But then the story starts to like leak in, and it really motivates you to keep going and figure out what the hell is going on. So it's worth the play. It's biggest complaint is it's short. It's a short game.
It's a beautiful fucking game.
It for sure is.
Yeah, like pixel art's like top notch.
It definitely has a very good style to it. My complaint with it, which is an odd complaint for me, I didn't finish it because I felt like the story was getting in the way of the game. Normally, I'm all about story stuff, but this one, I felt like, at least in the beginning, I don't know how far. At the beginning, the ratio of like cutscenes to gameplay were flipped too much. I felt like I was sitting in that psychiatrist chair for forever, and I was learning about this little girl or whatever. I was like, I don't care about this. I want to fucking kill things. And then you got to the levels, and then you'd kill them, and the level would be over like that. and then it's another like you can't skip this cutscene, and I was just like, I got better shit to play.
Yeah, like that's actually a very reasonable thing, because like that happened with me with this past year with what is it, Blaster Master 02 or something.
Oh yeah,
That the same exact thing happened. Like, it's Blaster Master, you know how to play the game. Why do I need all this pop-up text telling me what's going on at every moment for the first fucking, like, and telling me stories? Just let me play the fucking game. You know, I get it. It's a
Yeah, it's funny. I guess it depends. Like, because I found Katana Zero was just too straightforward at the beginning. It was the story that kept me going. If it didn't have that story leaking in and starting to have the mystery and drawing me in, I would have quit. But it just became really fun after a while. I don't know. I would encourage you to keep going.
Yeah, I probably will eventually. Well, maybe I gotta keep going. Who knows? But I think my expectations for it were in the wrong spot, because I was expecting Hotline Miami, which is just, there's no story. That's just like fucking kill all these people as quick as possible, get to the next level, kill all these people as quick as possible, be a fucking crazy murderer. And this was do all that but really quick and feel something about it. I was like, oh, I don't want to feel anything. I just want to kill shit. Cool. So,
yeah. It is cool that one of the cool features is like you have the ability to slow down time whenever you want. So you're playing this level and you keep slowing down time, and it's like, okay, like it can take a long time. But when you do complete your level, it then plays it back for you with no slowdown. So you're seeing it in the perspective of the people that you killed. Just this crazy bastard going super, super fast and doing all this amazing stuff. It's kind of a cool feature.
Yeah, I like that. It was like watching a little pixelated John Wick movie or something.
Right. Cool. Pete?
So, was that your number one?
That was it. Yeah.
That was your number one. My number one is Outer Wilds.
Whoa, shit, son.
That game is cool as fucking hell.
Yeah.
And it hooked me so bad. I'm still, I started playing it right after Thanksgiving, and I'm still playing it, just trying to figure out everything that's going on. You start out as an alien on a planet, and you discover that your planet, your entire solar system, is in this 20-minute time loop, right? But everything on your ship retains.
I'm gonna not listen for a second because I just bought it and I don't want to spoil.
No, I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Okay.
I'm not gonna spoil anything.
All right.
I'm gonna tell you just a basic rundown.
So I'm gonna take these off.
No, I promise I'm not gonna spoil anything. All it is you ship. I'm just explaining the mechanics. Every 20 minutes, the universe resets, but everything that you discover out in space, your ship remembers. I'm sorry. I don't think it's a spoiler, but I feel bad now.
Don't
I don't feel like
thumbs up.
Go ahead, check out.
Sorry,
I didn't think it was.
I'm weird about spoilers.
I didn't think it was spoilery, but I guess
didn't like. Oh, microphone, right? I've only heard like really great things about Outer Wilds, but I knew next to nothing about it. I just bought it sight unseen because people I respect were like, "You gotta play it," and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna." But the 20-minute time loop thing, I didn't know about that.
My only thing, the only thing I'm gonna say is that the way it works is that you get story in pieces, and trying to solve everything and figure it all out is pretty goddamn amazing.
Okay, so before I get into my number one game, I'll bring up one of my honorable mentions that I just beat like 2 days ago, which sounds exactly like you're describing, and I actually bought these two games at the same time. The Return of the Obra Dinn. Have you seen or heard of that one at all?
I've only by like in passing, but I heard it's really good.
It's made by the guy that made Papers, Please, which I don't know if I feel like a lot of people played it. It was a very good, unique game, but this one is completely different from that one. But you are basically like an inspector from the East India Trading Company's like insurance claims, and this is like back when trade ships and pirates were a thing. And essentially, the Oberdin is a trade vessel, a big ship, like with 3 masts and everything. And 60 people were aboard, and they all either died or went missing. And you board the ship with nobody on it except for corpses, and you basically look for corpses, and you have like a magic pocket watch that shows the last like few seconds of that person's life. And then through those memories, you go and you have to figure out what happened to every person aboard that ship, what their name was, and what happened to them. And like you basically deduce from all the different memories, you can see people across the ship, like they were over in the carpenter's workshop when this happened. This person was over here talking to that person, and they're wearing a hat, so I can sort of maybe suggest that they were like a first mate or some sort of mate or something. And it's just like slowly piecing together the story of what happened on this ship. And it was like really, really fucking cool and fun after a certain point, when it was like, when you start the game, it's like not what you expect. I didn't know what I was getting into at all. I just bought that one sight unseen as well because I'd heard good things. And you have to like click into the game to actually get anywhere in it. You have to use your brain a little bit. But so that you saying that triggered me on this, and now I'm like, oh fuck, now I got to go to Outer Wilds because my brain's primed for that sort of like piecing together mystery shit right now.
Oh, dude, you'll love it, and that mixed with the sci-fi element, that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sci-fi I'm all about.
So you'll love it.
Cool, good. Sorry to randomly talk about another game during.
No, that sounds cool. I should check that one out for sure.
And
sounds like it's right in. I kind of like that stuff too now.
Well, and just to like put a cherry on the top of that cake for you, it's a first-person game, but it's done in the style of like the original Game Boy.
Oh, really?
So if you look up a trailer for it, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like
I have seen that one.
It's a monochrome game.
Yeah, it's like maroon or something. It's like a maroon and white.
It's yeah, you can change the colors on it to match certain types of devices. But it's really cool. Super, like all the imagery is really dithered, and so it's like you see a person's face, but you can't quite necessarily make it out without referencing an image in the book that you have with it. It's really cool stuff. And it's pretty short, too. I platinumed it as well, because I'm a boss.
It looks really cool. Yeah, it's got that cream spinach look to it. Yeah.
Okay. Keep this train rolling. My number one game of the year is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Wow. I feel like I talked a fair amount of this previously on other episodes and stuff, but the new From Software game, a lot like Dark Souls, a lot like Bloodborne, more action-oriented, super duper skill reliant, has those fucking perfect mazy levels that I really like that all twist and turn on each other. And it's like the summation of a video game that makes you level up with it. You got to get your skills up higher. You got to get good to get into it. And like when you do and you beat those bosses, there's no better feeling than beating one of those bosses that you've been like cracking your head against for hours.
Says the guy that couldn't finish Cuphead.
I didn't like Cuphead. It wasn't fun.
Oh, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun because I couldn't get good.
The controls were stupid. I've seen you play it. You just use the fucking homing beacon. All you do is jump and avoid bullets. That's not interesting.
Yeah, I finished it though. That was very fun.
It's not a feather in anyone's cap. That's fine. I talk shit about your number one. You can talk shit about me. I don't care.
That's a hard-ass game, though. We'll give him that. But Jeff thrives on those things.
Negativity, you're right.
Yes, that too.
I'm assuming, Jeff, you don't have any honorable mention.
No.
Pete, do you want to talk about anything else?
Ashen was an honorable mention.
Ooh.
That game haunted me. It was in the beginning of this year. It's just there's this one moment in the game that like haunted me, and I still think about it from time to time.
That's a pretty good review.
So
I like things that haunt you.
yeah.
There's a movie that I haven't watched this year because one of the reviews said it will bruise your soul. I'm
Jesus.
like, oh wow, I'm not ready for that. I don't know if I'll ever be.
That's pretty harsh.
All right, honorable mentions, really quick. Days Gone, the PlayStation exclusive big zombie horde one. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one. Playing with those giant masses of zombies was fun. And then almost made the list, not quite. The new Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order. Thought it was perfectly average in every way because they're just taking pieces from every popular game out there. It's pretty much Sekiro light in like a Star Wars shell. Story was interesting. I didn't care too much about the story, but Jedis are cool and lightsabers are cool, and I thought it was really fun. I platinumed that one too, so that means something. I spent time after I beat it going for all the trophies and everything. The gameplay's good. It's just there were a lot of bugs in it, and it just wasn't polished to the level it could have been. But they're like, once they make a sequel, I think, and I'm sure they will because it made a lot of money. I think that one will be even better.
Cool.
Anyway, any other games?
Nope. Spies in Disguise, Agents on the Run. Get it now.
It was a good year for games, though, overall, I'd say.
I know there's actually one game that's I really want to play. I just haven't got around to it, and I saw it at the top of a lot of indie games. Was Greece? It looks like it's spelled Gris, but I think it's pronounced Greece. Just the art looks amazing. I really want to play it, but I think it's just a casual platformer with story, basically, and art as its main driver. Looks amazing.
It looks like the kind of game that's like about depression.
I think that's what it's about.
Is it?
I got it.
I think that's what it's about. If I'm not
Maybe
mistaken.
I read something and I'm not that clever.
Oh, it looks amazing.
Does look cool.
Yep, I'll agree to that.
Cool. You want to talk about our most anticipated lists?
Yes.
Sorry. Yes, we will.
All right, so I guess we can round robin a similar way. I don't want this podcast to be 10 hours long.
Yeah. We don't need to say a bunch of stuff about all these. Unless they're really obscure.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the sequel to Hollow Knight in this next year. Hollow Knight was one of my favorite games of last year. So there's the side character, Hornet, a female character that you interact with in the first one. She's having her own complete separate game. So I'm sure it's going to be more Metroidvania, cool, love the art style. So looking forward to that. The first one was hard as balls, and I liked it. So looking forward to another one.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
I liked the first Doom. Where I say it's the first Doom. It's like the Doom from a couple of years ago. I had a lot of fun with it, and I thought it was really, really well played and looked amazing. Yeah.
So that game, don't like first-person shooters. That one was something special. I loved it.
Yeah. So Doom Eternal for me.
Cool. Just so everyone knows, I'm expecting a child very soon. My wife and I, my beautiful Melinda. So this list is all the games that I'm actually going to try to carve out time for. Normally, I'd try to get like all these fucking obscure indie games that make me look cool and everything.
Yeah.
I play those.
You try to do these 6. You try.
Okay.
You got a beautiful baby boy.
This is why I'm not going to do the podcast anymore. It has nothing to do with time. It has everything to do with him. Just kidding. These are in no order. Cyberpunk 2077. I really like all the Witcher games, and I really like Cyberpunk stuff. So I'm going to fucking play the shit out of this if I have time. It's probably going to be like a 100+ hour game. So I'll play the start of it, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
See if you can platinum it.
Yeah, no.
Just give it to Pete and I and just be, I don't know what you guys were talking about last few years. I just platinumed it. Boom.
I honestly hope that happens.
if you do that, dude, you get severe props from me.
Or a divorce.
Yeah, that's the downside of it, I suppose.
Yeah, it's fine. I got my priorities right.
Cool.
Man, I should have saved that one. Whatever. Go.
It's all right. The next one has been on my list for the past 2 years, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This time it's really coming. March 11th.
I believe it.
All right. So I've talked about it plenty of times. Moving on.
Gods and Monsters. Ubisoft. Zelda-looking game.
Oh, yeah.
In ancient Greek mythology, right?
Yep. Sequel to Battle Olympus. Not really.
Battle Olympus was such a shitty game.
I can't wait to see gameplay for that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I hope it looks as good as the trailers.
Yeah, even if it's like less than, I like the style of it, and I like the Assassin's Creed game that specific studio made before that, so that'll be cool. My next game, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I don't know if I'll like it. I tried playing Final Fantasy VII this year. Didn't care for it. Didn't get very far. It's very old. This one will be new, though, so maybe I'll like it. But, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it is. The gameplay is pretty slow. For, compared to today's standards, for sure.
That was actually my problem with it was the opposite, where I felt like it was trying to make me move too fast, because I thought it was going to be a turn-based RPG, but it had the active time battle or whatever, where like you had to make your decisions quickly. And I was like, no, just let me fucking think these plans out. I don't want to like be spamming to attack before the other guy attacks. Give me the fucking order that the enemies are attacking in, and then I'll plan accordingly.
I thought you were talking about the old technology, like the loading times and all that bullshit.
Well, that too. And the graphics are bad. But I don't care about that. Eco's my favorite game.
Got that in. Good job.
I was waiting for you to give me shit for it.
All right. Next one, Carry On. It's a Metroidvania pixel art where this time you play as the ugly monster. Go around killing people.
That's my next one.
Cool.
And that's it looks disturbing, and you're controlling the monster,
Yeah.
and it still freaks you out.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to play that game.
Looks cool. Actively chose not to put it on my list.
Good job, hipster.
Thanks.
Because it was one on last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it was like one of my top games of E3 or something. I don't remember. Did you know I got Mindy a record player for Christmas?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Because I'm a hipster, We're just a bunch of fucking hipsters. We're going to raise a little hipster baby, and he's going to be the coolest fucking kid that's ever been fucking born. My next game Ghost of Tsushima. Another big old fucking open world game, and they came out and said there's no fast travel in this game. And I was like, damn it, I'm not going to finish this one either.
Why are you picking all the games you can't possibly play?
Because I'm really excited about them, man.
All right. You love these big open world stuff. Where you just got, I'm going to just start crafting this stuff. Give me some stuff to craft and take forever.
I do like crafting. I feel like you're the only person that actively despises crafting.
It's boring.
No, it's really cool. It's immersive.
He's not the only person.
No, Pete, you like it. You told me once. It wasn't on the podcast. You texted it to me.
I never. I hate crafting, man.
All right, my next one, 12 minutes. We talked about it about E3. It's basically you're solving a murder.
Who's the fucking hipster now?
Murder mystery where you're reliving the same 12 minutes over and over again, trying to change the outcome.
It looks really cool.
Pete.
I'm just gonna say it. Minecraft Dungeons.
Hell yeah, dude.
I know I'm gonna end up playing it with my kids, so I'm looking forward to it.
I like it. I think it looks fun.
Yep.
And I like Minecraft. Next game, I'm just going to put it in there right now. The Last of Us Part 2, obviously.
Oh, that's mine as well. The next one, so we can skip right to Pete. Everybody knows Last of Us. That's the next one. Moving on. Naughty Dog. They're doing good stuff.
Always.
Empire of Sin.
Whoa.
It's a XCOM style game that takes place in the Prohibition era, which is like, I love gangster shit. So,
because you are a gangster.
Well, that old school gangster shit, I love that stuff. I love that time period. I love everything about it. So I'm totally.
Did you ever see Road to Perdition?
Yes.
That's a cool ass movie.
Directed
really
by
is.
Sam Mendes, who might come up later on the podcast. Previews.
Did you know in Road to Perdition there was a scene where everything was very quiet and one person plays a piano, and I had that movie on, the DVD on, while I was on the phone with a girl, and then I was like, shh, 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 listen to this, and then I turned the TV up, and then I just let it play, and then I was like, so what'd you think? She's like, wow, that was really good. I was like, I know, I've been practicing. Worked out.
She's having his baby now.
It was Mindy?
No, it was like back in the day.
Oh. Oh, man.
There was no moral to that story.
I know, but it's a good story. Such a con.
What are we talking about? Games? Let's go, Jeff. Come on.
It's on you again.
Yeah, it's your turn.
No, I said The Last of Us.
Yep, and then I said Last of Us, and then Pete said his game.
Yeah, and then I said the Empire of Sin.
Oh, shit. Resident Evil 3 Remake. I already said it. We know it's going to be cool.
Okay. I'm going with what will be the best game of next year as my number one. Halo. It's coming back. Halo will be back, and I will be there.
Mike's just kind of like, for those of you not watching, Mike is just kind of like looking at the ceiling, shaking his head.
The only thing worse I could have said is like Madden 2020.
I'm a dude and I like stuff that dudes like. I'm going to play it on my Xbox and just slather my body in Mountain Dew Code Red.
Oh yeah, you have to collect the codes to get the unlockables.
Also, I fuck bags of Doritos.
I wonder how that would work.
Hey man,
Trust me, I'm a man. I know how.
Halo is a game that launched an entire system that is still around. It is no small little dinky do. It's good. Halo's awesome. The last
There's probably
two sucked,
maybe a person that listens to this podcast that works on Halo. I'm joking. I don't give a shit. Halo's fine. I'm not gonna play it, but I'm not gonna shit on your work. Just
Okay,
not for me,
Michael.
dude.
So you're not gonna get
Halo.
you're not gonna get the next Xbox system, considering all its stats are gonna be so much better and superior than the place.
You mean that fucking refrigerator-sized piece of shit? Why don't you just go buy a goddamn computer? It's the size of one, you dumbass.
That's true. It is pretty big.
I didn't design it.
Are you sure, you bitch?
Pete.
my number one is Cyber Shadow.
2077.
Cyber Shadow. Cyber Shadow is a game. I was looking for it in the list. Cyber Shadow is a game that was 10 years in the making by a single man making an 8-bit Nintendo game, and the Shovel Knight people are publishing it.
Wow.
I played it at PAX. It's really, really smooth.
I remember it now.
Really well. I can't wait for that game.
Yeah, that looked cool.
That's my number one.
My number one, even though this is in no particular order, it is now Elden Ring. The new game by the Sekiro guys.
Right.
It's going to be great. I doubt it's even coming out this year. Hoping for 2021, if we're being honest.
We need to document this list because it is going to be surprising to see how much you get through.
Elden Ring.
I mean, it is documented. It's a podcast we're publishing, so you can reference back to this very moment, Jeff.
All right. Noted.
It's called Elden Ring, you said?
Yeah. Elden Ring.
Is it a like an RPG?
I mean, it's probably going to be just like Bloodborne and Sekiro and Dark Souls, third-person action-y sort of thing. With the story written by George Railroad Martin.
He goes by Railroad?
Nope. Just RR. What are we moving on to? I can talk about my favorite TV.
This
Quickly.
All right, quickly, dude.
You're the one that wanted to do this fucking podcast.
I'm the one who said let's split it into multiple episodes because this is going to be 4 hours long.
All right, quickly. My favorite TV. I'm just going to do all three of them right now. Unless there's an objection from someone. There's literally silence. Okay. I think both of you would like this if you haven't already seen it. Go on Netflix and look up I Think You Should Leave. It's a very, very funny show. You just gotta watch the first fucking skit. If you don't think that's funny, get the fuck out and I think you should leave. But if you do, stick around. You got some good shit coming your way.
What is
It's
it?
like-
Just like up the ante as to how nasty they get or something like that?
No, it's like, you guys ever seen Tim and Eric, the awesome show, great job? Any of that, like, sort of weird, surreal humor?
No.
Well, you should look that up too. But they're just like little skits. There's like 4 or 5 skits per episode.
That's cool. Is it
and
like in front of a live audience or anything?
Nope.
Yeah.
Like, think of it as on SNL, they have the digital shorts. It's just a show made up of that sort of type of thing. They're pretty funny. On HBO, you need to watch Watchmen and you need to watch Chernobyl.
I heard they're both really good.
They're fantastic. Chernobyl, I think, was only 5 episodes, Watchmen is only 8 episodes. Chernobyl's a miniseries, standalone. You're in, you're out. You feel a lot of shit. Feel tense. You feel nervous. You feel sad. You feel... I don't know if I ever felt happy. But it's definitely really good. And then Watchmen will make you feel all sorts of holy shit. Like, you want to watch a show you think is about superheroes, then they just use the superhero bullshit, which I've gone on record and saying I don't care about superhero shit anymore. And then I continue to talk about superhero stuff. But they use it as a veneer to actually discuss real life shit that we need to be discussing. And it's very eloquently done and like very smart and still sci-fi, and I think it would scratch the itch for someone that just wants comic book stuff, maybe, unless you're like a Nazi or a fucking racist asshole, then you won't like it. But it's so fucking good, guys. You gotta watch it.
Cool. Yeah, you're not the first person who's recommended it.
Yeah.
You gotta check it out.
No, for sure not.
Movies?
My TV shows.
Oh, you got some. Okay.
I have two. One of them is kind of a obscure thing. I think it's called I'm Sorry. I forget her name, but she wrote and directed the show. I don't want to misquote, but I forget her name. But she it's basically like Curb Your Enthusiasm, except from like a maybe 30s mother perspective, and it's really funny.
On True TV?
Netflix.
Oh. Yeah, look.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
The other one was The Mandalorian. For me is everything I've been wanting from Star Wars for years. It's just so simple, and
It is simple.
and it is what, like, I've never equated a Star Wars movie to an experience that was ever going to enlighten me. It was always just a good, simple story that's very easy to follow with no expectations of anything less than, fantastic space battles and sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I think it's gotten so far away from that The Mandalorian was like, man, it's so much. It's Star Wars. It's what I remember.
Yeah. I appreciate what Mandalorian is and was. My biggest problem with it was the lack of like an overarching story. And I don't necessarily think that's a problem on Mandalorian's part. It's just sort of, again, an expectation of what I had coming into it. Because pretty much every TV show now, like Watchmen or Chernobyl or anything, is just like a season is one long arc and characters have payoffs and stuff. And this like started pretty promisingly. I think there's definitely some cheesiness factor to it, which, sort of goes along with Star Wars. But then each episode was just like sort of a standalone unit. It had somewhat of a through line, but overall it was just like, here's your new little adventure for the week. And I was just wanting a little more substance on those bones.
I can understand that, but I still love it.
Yeah. It's enjoyable for sure. It's an easy watch.
That's it for TV shows for me, anyway.
Cool. Growing that hair out, Petrie.
Is it? Yeah, I guess so, huh?
Oh, yeah. Look at you, handsome devil.
My grays are starting to show. Oh my god.
I'm gray as shit already.
Not me. I'm fine.
Fuck you, Jeff.
You got your own problem.
You non-BG animating motherfucker.
I forgot about that. The other thing I wanted to start with was talking about how we personally, like, what do we value in an animated movie or a movie to, like, what do we gauge? Is it just pure enjoyment or, like, whatever? So that's why I was going to just put that question out there on, like, when you're rating it, what is just your qualifiers?
Well, I think it's worth pointing out for us, and probably most movie-going audiences, they quantify animated movies separately than live-action movies.
Yeah.
Which I think is a negative and a detriment to our industry as a whole. That said, I have one animated movie on my list that I felt like, even personally, I will still rate like animated movies on a separate scale. But this one I felt like stood toe to toe with some of the best big budget live action shit.
I mean, you could say the same thing about foreign movies, right? Like, do they really belong in their own category?
Oh, absolutely not. No way.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's go in 3, 2, 1. All right, and we're okay.
We weren't already recording?
I thought we were just rolling with it.
Oh, God. I wouldn't have said that shit if I
thought we were just talking.
No.
All right, hold on. I'm cutting this one. All right, hold on. Ready in 3.
What?
I could just piece this together. It's okay.
Thank you, Pete. That was gold.
I had no energy.
I thought that was the energy you were bringing to the fucking podcast.
No. Ready in 3.
You know, 2, this is staying in.
This is all in.
Shut the fuck. Ready in 3, 2, 1.
If this is not in the fucking episode, I'll be pissed off.
Ready in 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back. Now we're moving forward past our video games, and we will be talking about movies now. All right, so getting straight into it, I wanted to ask you guys exactly how do you like rate your movies? Like, what do you judge one movie to be above another one? Like, you must have some sort of criteria.
For me, it's just however it strikes me personally.
All right, so when you're doing your top 6, you're saying, like, is it personal enjoyment? Because I was talking about this with my wife about how you can't just say pure enjoyment, right? Because there's some movies that just aren't meant to be enjoyed. Like, you would not say you enjoy Schindler's List, right? Like, that's not in the same way that you.
No, I mean, like, it has to hit me. It has to hit me personally.
Okay.
I have to feel that gut punch.
So then does that eliminate comedies then?
No, because it can. I didn't mean.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Connotation. Either.
Well, no, I mean, but like is like so. I guess what you're saying is like movie, whether it's emotional or if it's laughter or whatever.
Yeah, if it stays with me, then that's how I rate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm somewhat similar. I feel like I've mentioned it before. At least this is how I've rated stuff, movie-wise, at least for past however long we did the podcast. Basically, these 6 movies are the movies that I think like summarize my taste, and these are the movies that if I still bought physical media, these are the movies that I would purchase on Blu-ray and like proudly put on my shelf and be like, blammo, this is me in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So they like appeal to like my core senses, a bit like what Pete was saying, but it has to like sort of appeal to my like aesthetic visually and just the stuff that they deal with content wise. Like it all has to hit me in the right spot to make the list.
Yeah, no, I think you guys are right on about like having some sort of like core impact on you, whether that's laughter or emotion. And then it's something like I start to rate mine based on like also some sort of like innovation or something that it's bringing to the table that it should be applauded, some sort of effort that makes it stand out as unique or special in some way. Like I think that's worth, and what that could be. So it ends up being this combination of like cinematography and storytelling, character development, and it can come down to some sort of technical innovation like effects or something like that. So I think you mix all those together and then you end up finding some balance to make one movie superior over another one. So so with that, I guess we should do our round robin now with movies.
Yeah, because that's the way we do it. That's the way we've always done it.
It is. Okay. Right. Always.
You know, that last time made the cut, so.
Great.
There's going to be a lot of good stuff in this cut.
Is that right? All right.
I love that clusterfuck of a beginning is going to be fantastic.
I'm trying to do it professionally, and you just will not have it. You just won't. All right.
People don't want professional podcasts. They want fucking trash cans on fire.
That's what they get with JAFMM.
That is with me.
Yeah. All right. So let's. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna start with my animation portion of it. So I'm gonna count down top 6. So there is a lot more animated movies than you would think this year. So I'm gonna name just some of the I don't know, bigger ones. Actually, screw it. I'm going to just name a handful of them just to show you the plethora. So there's Lego Movie, the second part, right? Gendy had his own movie, Primal, Tales of Savagery, Missing Link. There, if you want to count Lion King, I think that's fair to count Lion King in the animated.
Sure, that's definitely animated.
Yeah. Addams Family, Angry Birds 2, Frozen 2, Spies of Disguise, I Lost My Body, The Tower, Toy Story 4, Abominable, Dragons 3, Klaus, Secret Life of Pets, and a whole crap of G-Kids released movies as well. So tons of movies, animation-wise. So I'm going to start with my number 6. Did I put it there? Yep, there it is. I'm going to go with Gendy's Primal, Tales of Savagery.
I don't think that technically qualifies as a movie, even though they put it together to be a movie to qualify for the Annies or whatever, but it's still fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, so it's definitely...
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
well, Pete, this is what this is for, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I know of it. I feel bad I haven't seen it. I'm not in the in crowd with you guys. You see what I'm saying? I don't get those screeners and all that kind of shit.
So we're looking at
animation gizm.
So it's no dialogue. Caveman kind of befriends an unlikely friend in a dinosaur. And they go through savage stuff together. And so you're talking about like Samurai Jack-ish with like Caveman. And it is gory, it's bloody, and it's violent, and it's fun as well. And you're interested in what's going on.
It's also surprisingly heartfelt. Like it was advertised as like violent and crazy, but that first episode was like, you did a good job setting this up, and I'm down for the ride because it's emotionally invested pretty quick.
Right. Yeah, so definitely worth a look. Artistically wise, like it's like you can tell there's a certain budget put on it, but it works for the way they address it. Like you can tell that they're using it to its advantage. The way the budget is limiting them.
Every time we finish an episode, I would turn to Minnie and be like, "Fuck, I wish I animated on this," because it's just like. Yes, it's slightly limited, but the drawing style is so fucking expressive and cool as hell and like stylized like you'd expect a Gendy project to be. But like they still animate really well through it, and they hold some keys with like really good graphic poses and stuff, and it's just like super legit.
Did you cool when you were watching it, did you notice like the scale changing a lot?
What do you mean?
It was more like the relationship with like there'd be like the one episode I'm thinking about was the size of the mammoths that come out. It's like they composed each shot in the scale ratio to work for each individual shot. Be like sometimes these mammoths would be like 10 times bigger than the dinosaur, and then other times they'd be like only 4 times bigger. then it's the same things, but they like the scale is all over the place. Where I feel like if we were in CG, we'd be like, you can't scale the god though. That's small, eh? But they're just doing it for every individual shot to make it work. It was noticeable, but it worked.
Yeah, I think that's a Gendy thing that he does all the time. It's like his stuff is more expressive than technical. Like even if you look at Hotel T, like they push stuff way more than others do just for one shot and then it'll revert back or whatever they do. I think he pushes lots of stuff in cool ways.
Right. Cool.
I have to go see that.
So
see, you guys are educating me too.
Even if you just catch one of the episodes. So just real quick, do you guys mind if I talk about then the regular movie? Regular. Oh, that's
whoa. Same list for me, bro. Same list for me, bro.
Okay, non-animated. I'll get in trouble for that one. Anyways, so the non-animation list, my number 6 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino's movie, Brad Pitt, Leonardo. I thought it was just like it's super long, but the story just weaves in and out, and it's I'm in awe of like how you can tell a story that is just constantly meandering to and fro with like no real sense of purpose, and yet you're still interested in continuing to watch it and what's happening to the characters. So I think for that it made the list.
Have we all seen it? Have you seen it, Pete?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Damn it.
Then no, it's fine.
I'm not prepared.
Well, we're not going to get into spoilers for any of this stuff anyway.
No.
I'll just say for that one, like I fluctuate on if I like Tarantino stuff or not. That one, I was thoroughly enjoying just watching like old-timey Hollywood stories being told, and like the story of a stuntman was really interesting. And I was like, dang, Tarantino's showing some real restraint with his directorial hand in this one.
Almost.
Almost. That's all I'll say.
All right, cool. Pete.
It's my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So my number 6, I don't know if you guys will have seen it, but it's called Memory, The Origin of Alien.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, and that's on my list, but I haven't seen it.
It's a documentary that is not only... The documentary itself is really high production quality. And the content the content it's about is just fucking amazing on its own. It's about the first Alien movie and how much of a masterpiece it was.
Yep.
And like just watching it and listening to it's so perfect that like the things that they describe is so perfect that you have a hard time believing that it's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they created chaos intentionally in that movie constantly without like, I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but it's
chaos or tension. There's definitely a ton of tension in that movie for sure. Yeah,
both chaos as well. And when I say chaos, I don't necessarily mean the blood and gore. I'm talking about like just in the kitchen scene, for instance, how there's just, it's not like shot, somebody says something, shot, somebody says something. It's like they mention in the film that everybody's talking, and it's just like feels like a real family situation.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, so you can actually choose who you want, what conversation you want to follow in the shot.
It's crazy.
Like, it's so amazing to me that like, how is that even planned? You know, if that's really perfect, you know?
Yeah.
So
Ridley Scott, he's a bro. And actually for Christmas this year, my buddy BJ, friend of the show, he got me the big, like thick making of Alien that just came out recently. And I started reading it, and like, talk about chaos outside of well before they even started making the movie. Like, what's his name? Dan O'Brien or something. I feel shitty that I don't remember his name, but he's basically the guy that came up with the original idea, and just his life trying to get that fucking movie made was like crazy. And he was offered to work on Star Wars, turned it down. He was going to work on Dune. He chose Dune instead of Star Wars, the one that never got made, Jodorowsky's Dune.
Mm-hmm.
And then he chose something else instead of working with like John Carpenter. And it was just like, oh, this guy, he just was making the wrong decisions in every way possible. And then somehow they ended up making Alien, and it was like the best fucking thing ever. I just love that movie.
Yeah.
I gotta see that documentary.
It's a really amazing story, like on its own.
Yeah.
Just the story of how it was made is incredible.
Good pick there, Pete. All right, Michael.
That's my number 6.
Okay, my number 6 is a movie I guarantee both of you didn't see, but it was on my list last year, I assume. I tried to find my list, but I couldn't find it. Why are you smiling and shaking your head at me?
Just the total hipster way to introduce that. I guarantee that you have not seen it. Well, I guarantee you haven't seen it. It was made, but it made my list.
Okay, did you see it? Did you see Midsummer, Jeffrey? Or are you a bitch?
I'm a bitch.
That's right. Fart noise.
Where is
dude,
that?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not up either your guys' alley, but it's up my wet bucket alley. I mean, all the reviews. It's sort of a spoiler, but it was in a lot of reviews, and like I think they use it on the advertisements and shit. But it's like the best worst breakup movie ever, and it's just to catch everyone up. Bunch of like college students working on their thesis, and one of their friends is from like Norway. I forget where it is in Norway, or if it's actually Norway. It doesn't matter. But he has like a family, and they have a once every 10 year sort of festival, and he invites all his friends to go up there, and it's during midsummer, and it's a celebration there, but it's also a time when like the sun doesn't ever set. So it's essentially a horror movie in the daylight. And I won't say it's like super scary. It's definitely more tense than it is on the scary. And I actually think it has a lot to do with it being in the light all the time. But it definitely like shows a sense of dread throughout. And this is the guy that directed Hereditary last year or 2 years ago, whenever that was. And like, he's the master of dread. I don't think this is as good as Hereditary, but it has a fucking brilliant like third act climax and like just a fantastic end. It's crazy. It's good stuff.
Great.
And that was called Midsummer?
Yeah. Midsommar.
Cool. I always take your recommendations because I some of these that you say that are fantastic I've never heard of. So like I just write them down. I'm like, boop.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
No,
And I'll go watch him, and he's, goddamn it, Mikey is right.
Yeah, Mikey's always right.
Mikey likes
All right,
it.
so my number 5 on animation side. How about let's get a little hipster here? How about The Tower? The Tower.
Hey,
Michael,
we watched that together.
We did watch that together. How about that?
Yeah.
So
Had a good chat with the director too.
Yeah. So it's. Man, that guy sounded like he went through a lot of effort to try to get this movie made and get it seen in front of people. That is for sure. So basically, it follows this little girl named Berardini. It's a Palestinian girl, and she's trying to learn the history of her kind of family. And she's in like a Palestinian camp, which is like generations and generations of houses built on like, and it's like just. I don't know. I'm trying not to be offensive, but like slum houses, basically, on top of each other.
Just like cement brick walls built on top continuously.
Yeah, and so she's trying to help her grandfather like get his spark back. I forget the phrase that they use. Do you remember what it was? I forget the phrase, but she's looking for his whatever. Anyways, she's learning about her history through that and learning about the Palestinian wars and all that. And it gets quite heavy and in a way that's like this could only be animation because you could not tolerate what it's showing if it was live action. Like, could not. Like, you could not show that stuff. So it's like
heavy.
Yeah, it's 2D animation and it's puppets. So every time it goes to a flashback type of thing, it's more 2D animation. When it's in the present, where it's a little girl, you're seeing it as puppets. So it's worth a watch if you have the stomach for it. Like, it's that this goes down in that category where it's like, I would not call this enjoyable, but it's.
I really dug it. I mean, obviously, it was fairly low budget. I think he told us the budget. It was like, wow, really? You can actually make a movie for that amount? I don't remember what it was.
Right.
But like, if you can get past that, like, I really, really enjoyed the structure of the film, because basically her entire family lives in this tower that's been built up over generation after generation, and like each level she's basically experiencing or hearing stories told of each generation from her family about how she got there, basically, and hearing the story of her parents and her grandparents. And it's just like each level is the next thing, and you learn a little bit more and more about the family.
Yeah, it's cool.
I just thought it structurally was like a neat little package.
A physical representation of going back in time. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
And then for my non-animation, I'm going to go with Marriage Story as my number 5. So it's a Netflix animated movie. Animated, Jesus Christ. Not animated. Definitely not. A Netflix movie.
Can you imagine if it was, though?
It'd be hard to tolerate, for sure. That'd be hard to pull off. So Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson, and you basically, it's another one of those movies where I would not call this enjoyable. Like, it's real. You're watching a marriage fall apart. But it feels real. The acting is incredible. And it's just, I don't know. It goes into that category of like kind of, it feels important and it feels real. And I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff like that executed. Like, that movie could easily falter and become boring or too intense. And it had just enough laughter and just enough realism that I felt compelled to keep watching. And so enjoyed it.
I watched that with the family when they were here for Christmas. And you know, there was varying opinions. My dad thought it was incredibly boring. I thought it was fantastic. And like, I think it is, like you were saying, hard to make a movie that is just like a very small family drama and stretch it out as long as it was. But also, like you said, the acting is like superb. And watching Adam Driver, like, I could just watch him forever do literally anything. I don't know what it is about him. He's not that expressive, but he's so fucking watchable.
It's same thing. It's like, I was thinking about afterwards. I was like, why do I even like watching him? He's not that attractive. Like, not that you need that, but he's just not an attractive guy. So he's not like Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio from. Okay. And then his voice is super weird as well. So he's lanky and tall, and it's just like, he's certainly not the ideal front man, but absolutely works in every movie that I continue to see him in. So works really well. I was curious, like, so you watched it with all these people. I couldn't imagine me watching it with other people, because I feel like I start to take on, are they enjoying it? Is this uncomfortable? Now I'm uncomfortable because this whole scene is uncomfortable because they're in the room. So I was like, thank God I watched this alone.
Oh man, I like watching it because, you know, we would have to pause it for bathroom breaks with so many people there, and then we were all just like, "So, what do you think?" And it's like, "That was stupid." I was like, "What are you talking about, you idiot? You're sexist."
And you must be much better about holding on to your own opinion, because I start to like feel the weight of them hating it, so I'm just like, "Oh, I just don't like it." Then
I mean, yeah, a little bit, but then I just get defensive.
All right, Pete, go on.
Where are we? Number 5?
Number 5.
Okay, so for me was Alita Battle Angel.
Whoa.
Wow, nice.
And the reason for that was I was literally amazed, and this is going to sound weird, but I'm going to say it anyway. I was literally amazed at how quickly I fell in love with that character. You know? I don't mean it like that. Like it felt more like like. It's hard to explain at first when you don't know who she. Spoilers. If you don't know who she is, like.
I don't know. I didn't. This is one I didn't see. So.
Did you see it, Mikey?
I did.
Like if you don't know who she is, it's like you feel like she needs to be protected, and then like as things come out, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool transformation.
Yeah. I was surprised by that movie. I don't think the trailers did it justice at all. I thought the trailers looked like dog trash, and I still watched it because that's what I do. And I was very surprised by it. It was much more enjoyable than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And she was like by far the shining beacon in that whole movie.
Yeah. And it's pretty incredible that she was like completely CG. Like, let's be honest here. When a CG character shows up in a movie, there's a little bit of a warming up period where you're like, I know you're not real, but it's okay. Let's just keep going and keep watching this. I never felt that with this. It was weird because I didn't know anything about the movie before I saw it.
Yeah. I wonder if it had anything to do with the design that got a lot of shit, but like those big eyes make it like super obvious and apparent right up front that she's not human, and technically she's not. I don't know if that's a spoiler. I don't think it is, but
it's all over the trailers.
Okay. Like it's already setting up in film language and like just visually that she is not human, so I think you're more acceptable of it being slightly off. You know what I mean? Like she's a cyborg, so the uncanny valley is slightly intrinsic to her, so you're like, yeah, fine.
Right.
Yeah. It was strange though. It was very strange because then I started seeing like weird like little things and like little movements and stuff like jitters and stuff. And I'm like, that's not real.
Yeah.
I honestly thought for a while there it was like a real person, but they face tracked it,
Right.
But it was really well done.
It's cool. The only time that I've like completely forgotten a character with CG was Gollum. It's like completely just started to own that character as real. It's a cool feeling when that happens, where you can just start to buy into it.
Yep.
Yeah, go back and watch Lord of the Rings. You don't buy into it anymore.
Is that right? I mean, it's been 20 years. So
I mean, there's some atrocious shit in those movies. I love them to death, but come on.
each individual movie has a cringe moment where you're like, oof, those effects. Oh my God. Even back then you were like, whoa.
Oh, yeah. Return of the King, there's one shot that always makes me so unhappy. It's like, I know there's probably some schedule or something that caused it, and it's not even that bad, but it's like a super wide shot of Mount Doom as Sam and Frodo are like running into the doorway to throw the ring in, and the camera's just like panning up, and it's all CG except for the plate of them running, but the plate of them running is just like sliding across the ground, and their feet are just like I always hated that shot so much.
Good call, Mikey. All right, go Mike.
You just called me two different things in one sentence.
All right,
my number 5.
Strap on that beanie. We're going with number 5.
Okay, my hair looked bad, and I had to cover it up. Jesus Christ. Number 5 is the most hip animated movie of the year. Oh, shit. No, wait. Rewind. That's Spies in Disguise.
Oh, God.
Number 5. I meant in like hipster.
Okay. Hipster.
Number 5. I Lost My Body. Did you watch that with me, Jeffrey?
I did watch that. I did watch that with you.
Cool.
What are you guys like in a club or something? Like
We get screenings at work and stuff. Yeah,
That's why I don't-
we're spoiled little bitches.
No, but you're right. When we came out of that thing, I was like, I guarantee you half these people hated this movie, but damn, was it good. That movie was so good.
It's insane. Okay, so everyone who doesn't know, just go to Netflix and watch this movie. It's really fucking cool, and it's surreal and interesting, and it's the kind of shit that I want animated movies to be from now on. But it's basically the story of like a college. He's in college, right?
Yeah.
College kid in France who's basically trying to sort out his life, and he meets a girl and he sort of falls in love with her, blah blah blah. But you juxtapose that with a disembodied hand that's crawling to try to find its body, and somehow those two things don't seem like they relate a lot. Eventually they do, and it's really fucking cool. And I didn't know, I mean, I knew. I always say I want to make an animated horror movie. This isn't a horror movie, but there are moments in it where you get legitimately tense and nervous.
Yep.
And I don't think I've seen that in an animated movie quite as well done here as anywhere else.
Wow.
Yeah, I think one instance of that, it's not spoilerish or anything, but it's like this disembodied hand that you see through its perspective at times, so you know it has sight and feeling, but it ends up going into this like subway area and ends up having to fend itself off against rats. And it's just like so intense. This little like it thing, whatever, I guess thing from like Addams Family type thing ends up having to like try to survive. It's interesting. And the story ends up being so deep as well about the kid's life and what he's trying to find and what it means, and the hand's perspective on the whole situation as well. Super cool. I'll just go ahead and spoil that. That's my number one animated movie of the year.
Oh, snap. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's cool. But it's that good. It's worth checking out. It has all those conditions I was talking about. I was like, this feels important. It feels like cool in terms of the storytelling. It moves to being on your list there. It moves it's outside of the genre, if you want to call it that, of animation, and like really like elevates the level to being a story that's really worth watching and can only be done in animation as well. So,
it's also worth mentioning the style, where most of it was animated in 3D, but for all intents and purposes, it is a 2D film. Mm-hmm. So it's like they rotoscoped on top of 3D animation, so you still get the feel of all the hand-drawn stuff. I thought it was some sort of plug-in where they were doing some sort of like cell shading stuff or something just to try to help it out a little bit. But I looked it up and watched some videos, and it's legit all just hand-drawn on top of CG.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's a pretty interesting style, and you know, I think it's a good contrast to what most CG stuff looks like right now.
Cool, man. I'll try to bring up my number 4 animation. Oh, there it is. I put down Missing Link as my number 4. I don't have too much to say because I don't think the one knock I have against it is it doesn't have a very wide audience to talk about. But I watched it once and actually really did not like it. And I gave it another chance, and it was because I was watching it with my daughter or in mind the first time, and it was that thing I was telling you about. I was like, I could feel her not liking it, and like it's just not for her. So I was like, this is boring. It's not resonating. The characters don't have the right motivation. But watching it again, it started to sink in, and I started to really like get connected to the two main characters and how they were, especially the art is amazing still. Like it was always kicking butt with that. But for that reason, it's worth a watch.
I'm going to chime in now because it's a little bit later on my list, but I had literally had the same exact experience you did.
Yeah.
I took my kids to go see it, watching it. It's like, oh man, I don't know. So I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't invested in it. And I left. I didn't leave the movie. We watched the whole thing, but it didn't sit with me. I watched it again, and I was absolutely amazed by the performances they got out of those things.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like, it's like I feel like saying the character's name is going to spoil it.
Right.
No,
So
I mean I was about to. I think it's in the trailers, but like,
Susan.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're voting for the Annies is going on right now, and the person that animated that scene with those two talking on the boat and where he tells them he wants to be named Susan, there's an animator nominated for that chunk of shots that I think she did. But like, I'm sort of in the first screening boat that you guys were in, where I haven't watched it a second time. I thought the movie was pretty boring the first time. The artistry is amazing, so I just need to give it another shot. But like watching that scene again, I was like, oh shit, yeah, I really need to give this a second shot.
That scene particular, when I was watching that scene the first time, I was like, how is that fucking even possible? Like that animation particular in the moment in the movie stood out. I was going, there's such subtlety going on right now. I do not understand how they are doing this. And then it's nominated for an Annie, so
it's crazy too. And it's done so differently than what we're used to.
Yeah.
But yet at its core concept it's the same, but like the animation is the same. But it's like the technique, the craftsmanship, it's just it's incredible.
Yeah, it's palpable. So it has a unique quality to it. So I'm going to say my number 4 non-animated movie now, but I forgot to mention this at the top. I'm going to say it now. It's actually important for me to say that this is not an indication of the way I'm voting for the Academy, because I could get into trouble by saying the way I'm voting for that. So this is not an indication of that, or I'm not trying to pressure anybody else to vote this way either. So please don't.
Got it.
Please do not kick me out of the Academy.
This is the most movies he's ever watched. Don't take it away from him.
Do you want me to put that at the head of the thing?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Nobody's listening to this. Away from the Academy. I just want to make sure it's in there somewhere. So, all right, Mikey. I don't have a beanie to put on. Okay, but
oh Jesus Christ!
Parasite, number 4.
Hey, buddy.
All right, foreign movie number 4. Good movie. I don't want to ruin anything, but
is it scary?
I thought it was scary, which is why I avoided it at the beginning. That it was going to be like a horror, gory movie. But for the most part, you're watching this family slowly infiltrate another family because they need the jobs. So it becomes a con movie. It's much more of a con movie than anything. It was very interesting. And you see how that con I'm just saying you watch how the con plays out, like how that family interacts with and how it evolves. So it was really, really fun watching that take place. And it definitely kept you intrigued on what's going to happen next, and you can't really predict where it's going to go, which makes it a lot of fun as well. So, as the Golden Globes were just on, and the director accepted for Best Foreign Film, and whatever you said, it was a meme going around earlier, Michael, but he was just saying once you get past the 1-inch barrier, a lot of
subtitles.
Yeah, a lot of great movies open up to you, and this is definitely one of them. It was great.
You're welcome.
I hadn't seen it before the Golden Globes, and before Mindy, your wife, had mentioned that it was a movie that you recommended. So I was like, I better pop this in real quick.
Yeah, spoilers. It's my number 2 of the year, and I mean, most people have seen the movie by now, so telling them that it's a con movie is fine. But like when I saw it, you go and look at the trailer for it, and they're selling it like a horror movie. So I went in knowing there was going to be some sort of crazy twist. I wasn't sure if it was going to turn into like crazy fungus monsters or zombies or something. There's like Midsummer, there's dread building up, but it's like once you actually get to the meat of that bone, or whatever that saying is, it's like fucking awesome. And especially watching it for a second time, we watched this with my family as well, and where everything is going, it's like fucking perfection the way that they set everything up.
Right.
And if you go back and watch Bong Joon-ho's earlier works, the themes that he's dealing with in this movie, he's dealt with before, and it's very obviously something near and dear to his heart. He's one of those directors that will continue to explore the same notion in different ways. Most notably Snowpiercer, which is more of a genre movie, more action thriller. Then you take the notion of that, put it in this movie into like a family drama, and you got yourself a kick-ass movie. Are you smiling at me because that was a hipster response?
I'm smiling because, well, this just goes back. This is our 4th year. It's like, I'm still so glad you're part of this podcast because I'm trying hard to like, all right, let's get into it. Let's move in deeper movies. Like, let me try. I try to pull out a movie like Parasite, and it's you talking for 10 minutes. I can't keep up, man. Snowpiercer, what the fuck is that? I don't fucking know.
Try watching some fucking movies.
I'm trying, but that's why you're here. It's good.
I'm glad I'm here for the lighter palate. Because you guys are making me feel like uncultured swine.
That's not what it's about. This is just to give people a list of good shit to watch.
Yes, all this stuff.
But I had to mention something. It was my number 2 movie.
No, it's good. That's why I love it. All right, Pete, moving on to your number 4.
My number 4 was actually, my number 4 would be Klaus.
Oh.
Klaus, yeah. Sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. It's the story of Santa Claus.
I love that movie.
Yep.
I adored it. Like, what else can I say about it? It's beautiful. It's and the story is beautiful too. You know, and it's like a type of story, a type of movie that the world needs right now. You know? Yeah,
that is my number 2 animated movie. So we got 1 and 2 down. And reason being is like, also just the technique is so amazing. Like, I feel like you have to just honor the technique of the animation, hand-drawn animation, but really great in terms of the hand-drawn effect when it looks like it's 3D. So I'm just, I don't know what we're doing.
I'm going to cut that part out.
Please do. Oh, God. I forgot we hadn't talked about that yet. Oh, man. Sometimes I just walk right into shit. What I'm trying to say about Klaus is it does have a beautiful look and a beautiful aesthetic that needs to be just be applauded is what I'm trying to say, because it's just like something we've never seen before. And then you're right, the story as well is really great. I think it does take a little bit to get going, so people that haven't seen it yet, I think going in there knowing the first act may like be a little tough to get through, especially for kids. It's worth knowing that it picks up and it hits its stride. Just give it a little bit of time.
Yeah, I really liked it. Just very briefly, so I don't talk forever. But I thought everyone was praising it because of specifically the animation quality and the design style and stuff. I was pleasantly surprised by the story. I thought it was like the best Christmas story that's come around in a long time.
Yeah.
Good third act. Third act was great.
Yeah,
really strong.
Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
My number 4 movie of the year, Ad Astra.
That's my number 3, man.
Hey. Yeah. We talked about this over the summer as well.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll probably say the same thing. I don't remember what I said. Brad Pitt, sci-fi movie. Really fucking cool. Beautifully shot. Very interesting third act, I guess. I don't want to spoil it, but it was not what I expected, but I was pleasantly surprised. There's sort of a trope in sci-fi movies that tends to happen, and I always really like it. And then the third act in this one hit, not expecting what I got, hit me emotionally. Brad Pitt, very reserved, like incredibly reserved, and then you just see a crack in the armor, and it's like, oh shit, that like it's hard to explain, but the acting in that is so fucking subtle from Brad Pitt. Like, ooh, just a little quiver gets you going.
Yep. I wish I saw it in like an IMAX situation.
Oh yeah, that we saw it in IMAX.
Some of those shots are just gorgeous, even on a television.
Yeah,
you know, man.
It's funny. A lot of the movies this year, some of them are specifically made to be seen on the big screen, like Ad Astra. But it's interesting seeing some movie directors like specifically having their movies as like this must be seen in the big screen. Yeah, it's cool.
Even like this doesn't really relate, but the new trailer for Christopher Nolan's new movie Tenet. At the end of that trailer, it says, "See this trailer in theaters for maximum effect," or something like that. It's like, what? Who says to go to a theater to watch a trailer?
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan.
Especially one you've already seen.
Right.
Like, see it again.
It is
see this
pretty cool
again.
in the theater, though. That's a cool ass trailer.
I haven't seen it in the theater yet. It's cool. The trailer, that is. Well, obviously not the movie.
Sure.
What's the movie called?
Tenet.
Hey man, are we doing our previews later? Like, shut the F up, man. We're getting there. Number
Ad Astra was a damn fine movie.
Oh yeah, is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
Nope.
No, you're good.
I was just. Yeah, okay, I did want to add one thing. What struck me hard was the concept that this could potentially be happening now. You know what I mean? Because like the government is always 50 years or so ahead of the present, you know. Or that's how that's what I've heard anyway.
Right.
So the concept of being in space, and there being all these logistics set up there, and
I thought that was really cool the way they did that. Like in the movie, the moon is commercialized. Basically, the moon is like a glorified airport a little bit with like Applebee's and stuff. And it's just a really weird fucking juxtaposition to see an ad for Applebee's on the moon. But then he has to go through all these like government channels to get to where it needs to go because it's like an undercover sort of secret mission type thing. And it's just, that was part of the fun, is just seeing the next like set of things that he has to get through and the bureaucratic bullshit that he has to deal with and stuff. Very interesting movie.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm going to fill the blank air, as Michael told me I'm supposed to do. My number 3 animated movie is Spies in Disguise.
Whoa!
I obviously have an investment in that, but even like watching it and taking a step backwards, this movie has a clear audience to me. It does. It hits it well. The reviews are pretty high for it in terms of praising it for being an enjoyable, fun movie, which I think is important for hitting. Like that's a lot of this thing is also intent of the movie. Like this movie is intended to please a certain amount, a certain demographic, and hit it hard and funny. It does have a message. It hits you in the gut a bit. I thought it was a very enjoyable movie. Like obviously, I already said my 1 and 2. I'm not saying it's the best animated movie of the year, but it is damn worth your time.
I had it as an honorable mention because my lists are together, Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
So I absolutely stunned by that movie. Like not that I didn't think you guys could do it, just that I watched it and it had one of those moments that haunted me, you know, and that doesn't happen very often. I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm just going to say Will Smith delivers something, like not even a line, in the middle, and like towards the third act of the movie. And the way it was delivered hit me in the fucking heart, man.
What environment was he in? I'm trying to think because there's a couple moments where that could have happened.
I know what it is. I think I know.
Do you think it's on the boat?
I could cut it off. I could cut it out so we could talk about it for real. If you guys want to hear my praise.
Yeah, you tell us. We'll tell you if it's worth cutting out.
Okay. It's a pretty big spoiler. Maybe not.
Wait.
Maybe not. But it's when
just cut out. Did you say it?
No.
Okay.
It's the part when that
That's a spoiler.
Okay, fine.
But I also just want to say that's Graham. That's like Graham dealing with his own shit too.
Yeah. Yeah, that entire performance is Graham.
dude,
Yeah.
that was haunting.
Well, without saying what the spoiler is, give major props to Graham Silva, the animator, on the section that we just bleeped out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry I had to go to spoilers with these guys, but no, I don't want to spoil the movie for you guys.
Hey, if you don't want this film spoiled for yourself, go buy a ticket and go check out Spies in Disguise in theaters right now.
Yeah, that would be helpful. But like I said, worth your time. It is. I'm not just saying it because I'm involved in it. Like, it is an enjoyable movie. So please do.
Yep.
Pete, what's your number 3? Oh, you already said it. He was Ad Astra, right?
Yeah, on my Missing Link was my 3.
Okay.
Ad Astra was my 2. So that leaves.
Okay, so we'll move on to Michael's 3.
All right. I think this is on your list, Jeffrey. My number 3 is Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, yeah. My number 2. Good.
Nice. Yeah. It's a incredibly well done, funny, emotional movie by Taika Waititi, who seems to be directing fucking everything. He directed like an episode of The Mandalorian this year, too. Story of a little Nazi kid who wants to be a Nazi, has Hitler as an imaginary friend. It's a great fucking premise, and they deliver on that in spades, and then they make you feel really, really sad.
Yeah.
And also very happy and uplifted. And you can't do more than that.
I love that you're watching this movie, and you could swear to God you're watching a Wes Anderson movie for the first act and a half. And then you start to the story starts to continue to roll down and go into this new avenue, and it just becomes quite beautiful. Very good movie.
There was a choice, which I won't spoil, but there was a bunch of shots where it was that's such a weird way to frame this. Why are we looking in this angle? And then eventually this story comes together and it's oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's very, very good. I just watched a video that Graham, actually, we were just talking about, sent me about the cinematography of that movie. And one of the things Mindy commented a lot about when we got out of it was the color palette and how bright and friendly and fun that movie is despite its content, I guess. And that was something that they were actively doing because that's what colors really were like that time. We're just used to seeing, sepia color or black and white footage from World War II, but there was color in life back then. You just don't see it that often.
Yeah, man, I love the tone that it sets right at the beginning, just to make sure you just get your head fucked with by the end. Because the opening scene is just this kid having Hitler as if he's in his bedroom right now, a little kid being this age, just because Hitler's being super playful and using super modern playful language as well, and it just helps set you up and invite you into this weird world. It's great.
As someone who has no idea what the fuck you're talking about, it sounds really fucked up.
But it's not really. It's the guy that made the Thor Ragnarok. So you're going to have just sort of a fun time. And it is pretty much just a comedy for the first half of the movie. And then it slowly integrates emotional stuff, which you would expect with Nazis and Jews and stuff at the time. And it's took me by surprise. I knew I was going to like it, but not as much as I did.
Yeah. Great cast too. Cast is outrageously good.
Yes, Scarlett Johansson is in it. Don't normally like her. Loved her in this movie.
Yep, she was good. The accent, I don't know how dead on it was, but
I don't care about accents.
I feel like the accents in there, they were kind of very liberal with it. And I don't know if it was I would love to ask, but try not to be offensive about the question. But I wonder if it was intentional that the accents slipped here and there.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely made it a little bit more lighthearted at the beginning. So where are we at now? So that was your number 3?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I already did my animated movies, so I'll do my my non-animated. So I'll do Joker. It was another movie I wanted to talk about.
All right, that was my number 1.
Okay. Well, it's a good time to talk about it for sure. Like, that movie is incredible. Joaquin Phoenix, what the hell, man? How do you do that? How do you live up to Heath Ledger and crush it, man?
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, it seriously, like, so many people told me before I watched it that it's harsh, it's hard to watch, it's harsh, it's hard to watch. And I watch it, and I'm like, this is a complete reflection on us as a society.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people are saying it's hard to watch. It's like, man, so good.
Yeah.
So good.
The what Joaquin Phoenix was able to, like, just physically do to his body and to his voice, and the situations that the character gets in the movie is, like, just filled with tension. I loved it.
I saw it in theaters, and then I watched it again over Christmas with my family. Apparently, we watched a lot of movies, and it was interesting because I got 2 completely different perspectives. I feel maybe I said this in the podcast. I don't fucking know. But when we saw it in the theater, there's one scene in the movie, which I won't spoil, but I'll briefly talk about the context so you guys remember. But it's later in the film when his 2 friends from his clown job or whatever show up.
Yep.
And shit goes down. That got a huge fucking laugh out of the crowd that I saw that with at the theater. And it was like, are you kidding me? This is society? No wonder this movie's doing so fucking well. You guys think this is funny?
Yeah.
And, like, I suppose it could be, but it's not funny like they were laughing at it. I don't know. But then we watched it with the family, and they had the reaction that I expected. It was like, this is horrifying and this is terrible, and I feel awful. So I don't know. That's definitely one of those movies that's hard to watch, and I just don't like gross, skinny, weird bodies. So I had to step out of the room the second time. It's like, I want to see your fucked up shoulder blades again. I'm good. Get out of here.
I can't remember what moment it was, but I had that same thing where I was like, I know a general audience would be laughing at this right now, and it is terrifyingly awful. But what, there was some movie, I shouldn't even bring it up if I can't remember that moment, but there was a couple moments where I was in movies theaters where it was just like such heartfelt emotional moments, and people would just start laughing at it and be like, what is it? F is going on? Like, this, I hope this is you being uncomfortable and laughing that way and not seriously thinking this is funny.
Yeah. I have a new theory where specific types of movies draw specific types of audiences, obviously, I guess. But me and Mindy went and saw Little Women last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That theater was packed. And I'm not going to, like, do some sort of gender bias thing. Mostly women. There was like 4 other guys in the theater. Everyone didn't talk at all. There were little girls in there. There were 60-year-old ladies not chewing their chews or anything. Everyone was fucking respectful and great.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I guess what I'm saying is go see movies with a bunch of ladies more often. You might have a better experience.
Yeah,
and
just watch it by yourself.
Same notion, let more women direct and have more movies about women, then we'll have an even playing field and everything will be good.
Well, the the music was done by a woman. She accepted it for best music for at the Golden Globes as well. And
For what, the Joker?
Yeah. And that music stood out as so haunting, and it like just kept drawing you in. It was. I'm glad she won for that. Very well deserved.
I also really like the font that they use in the titles at the beginning. Of the Joker. That shit was cool.
Really cool.
It was such, because they end with it too, right? Like a strong, bold font that takes up the entirety of the screen. What do you think the idea was for that? Like, it stands out as a super.
I mean, the movie takes place in like the 80s, or looks like it takes place in the 80s. It's Gotham, not New York City. I don't know, but it seems like a font relevant to the times they are trying to portray. And 80s, of course, is very in right now.
Yeah.
But it's like classy 80s, not the retro like synth 80s.
I thought maybe it was a takeoff of a specific comic book cover or something. It's flashing in my memory as something I recognize, so I didn't know if it was something like that. But it definitely stood out as like a bold choice. So like, Jesus Christ, that is quite the font.
Although Todd Howard, I think that's the director. Wait, Todd Howard, that's the guy that makes like Skyrim. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Fuck him. He said that he didn't read any comic books to make the movie. He just wanted to make a movie about a fucked up guy.
Okay, super naive question that I don't read the comics, so that's why I don't know. Why is his name Fleck and not Napier, like Jack Napier?
Because I don't think he based it on literally anything.
Okay.
It's his own standalone thing.
Okay. I didn't know. I mean, obviously, because it has Bruce Wayne and Thomas Wayne in the movie and that kind of thing. So the characters are real and in the movie, right?
I can't hear anything you're saying. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Now I can hear you.
I was saying they have the Waynes, Bruce Wayne, Thomas Wayne. They have the Waynes in there, so that it's connecting the dots of real other characters. I just didn't know why.
Right. I think they saw other movies and then they tied shit together that is not correct.
Anyways, I'm sure somebody knows the answer to that. I didn't know if you guys did.
I don't know how you guys felt about it, but my reaction to the movie, and generally speaking, is that it's actually like a fucking tragedy. You know, I see that character arc from beginning to end, and it's fucking tragic as hell. And you don't come out feeling good at all.
No,
you feel, you know.
Yeah, it's very like King Kong ending, where it's like ending on such a bittersweet thing, and it seems like all the imagery and stuff should be celebratory, and no spoilers, but it's like, ooh, this just leaves me with an awful feeling. Society sucks. I don't want to be here anymore.
It's good. It's good.
It's a going away message. Joker. People are terrible.
Yeah. Well, it's showing
Except you, listener.
It's showing you the path. It's showing you the path that can just devolve a society, or certainly revolt, or like cause a revolution to happen.
Now you flagged us for the FBI, Jeff. What the fuck, man?
Michael, I think you're on your number 2, 3.
My number 2 is Parasite. And we already discussed that.
Oh, right.
Everyone go watch it.
All right, so then it's on me?
Yeah.
All right, so let me get back to my list. So we already talked about all my animation again, and we already talked about Jojo Rabbit. So I'm down to my number 1. So, what? Oh, okay. My number, they
Every
can't hear
time
me.
we make faces, we can't hear.
Right, I know. Okay. I'm back, though, right? My number 1? I can talk about my number 1. All right, so my number 1 movie is 1917, directed by Sam Mendes.
You gotta see that? Oh, because of your fucking high-class fucking lifestyle.
Yeah. This is a movie.
I want to see it so bad.
You must. I will re-see it because I didn't get to. Must see it in the theater. Like, man.
Did you watch it on your phone?
I watched it on TV.
You disgust me.
I didn't have a choice. It's not out. I could have gone down to the city and seen a pre-screener, but that's just not going to happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see the shit I have to deal with. I get my animation news from YouTube, or if I see something from my kids say, "Hey, this is cool," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Fortnite.
Yeah, and then like Jeff's over here like, "Huh, let them eat cake, suckers." Jesus.
Anyways, 1917. There's not much to say other than that. It's the reason why I wanted to start the podcast about like talking about technique and importance and like I know you guys can't hear me, but the difference of different storytelling and because there's you can have characters that have an entire arc, and the whole thing is like Marriage Story, where you're trying to watch two people go through this horrible moment, and you can have Joker, which is about a reflection of a society, and you can have 1917, which is something completely different. It's about placing you in this world and making you experience the world, and it forces you to experience it.
The whole thing is like not technically, but visually supposed to look like one continuous shot, right?
Yeah. And it's beautiful because it hasn't. All right, because Birdman tried that, right? They had the same thing, but Birdman's doing it as like I didn't find that it needed it. It was something that it was in there. It was interesting. But this has a very intentional reason to do it, which is to say you cannot escape this world. You're going to move from this environment to this environment to this environment, and you're going to feel how closely tied something so beautiful can be composed and put right next to something so awful. And it never cuts and never lets you think that this is 200 miles away and somewhere else. No, this is a difference of a quarter mile makes a huge difference, and makes you really experience war in that way. So it's pretty neat.
That was a terrible war too.
Yeah,
that was a terrible war. Like, God, heaven forbid we ever go back down that fucking road. The whole like mustard gas and shit.
No.
And then personal. It's just being very personal. Yeah, last like cavalry war, I think, right? Like horses and all that stuff. So worth your time for sure.
I can't wait.
Yeah, me either. I guess
it's one of those movies that you like. I wish we could just talk about it. Like you guys both see it, and then like we can talk about it openly and like talk about every part of it because there's so much to say.
Pete, do you have your number one?
He already talked about it.
I already went through all my stuff. I just have a couple honorable mentions left.
Okay. My number one, which Jeff, you probably can watch in all your like fancy Hollywood elitist screeners, I hope. The Lighthouse. Boom. Now, you want to talk about surreal. You want to talk about black and white. You want to talk about 4:3 aspect ratio. You want to talk about hipster. Let's get into it.
Go, baby.
That is fascinating.
A movie shot by Robert Eggers or Dave Eggers. I always confuse them. Doesn't matter. One's the author, the other's the director. The guy that made The Witch, he made this movie. You got two characters. One more, sort of. She shows up like once or twice. Two-man fucking thing. You got Twilight Boy, what's his name? Robert Pattinson. And you got Willem Dafoe. They're guys stationed on a lighthouse in the middle of fucking nowhere. They go crazy. And shit goes bonkers. I couldn't even possibly try to explain the ending to you. I could, but you'd be like, what? That sounds crazy. And it is. And it is like the most fucking bizarre thing I've seen all year. And I could not stop thinking about it after the fact. And you may disagree with some of the choices, like the 4:3. I was like, cool, I'm down to go for this because it takes place in like 1892, let's say. I don't fucking know. So it seems appropriate. It looks like those old photographs.
Mm-hmm.
The way a lot of the shots are composed, and it is in black and white, so the contrast is high in some shots, and sometimes it's not at all. It can get very grayscale. But like you get light patches in the background that will amplify things that you should or shouldn't be noticing. There was one shot Mindy kept saying after the fact, she's like, that knife in the background, I thought something was going to happen with that knife because it was in that shaft of light the whole time. I was like, I didn't even notice that because Willem Dafoe's in the foreground acting like a crazy fucking animal, and I was watching that. And oh my God, guys, it just gets so weird. You got to watch it. It's so cool. And of all the movies on this list, it has the most fart jokes by far. It's pretty great.
Man, there's just I will try. This time next year, maybe I'll be wearing the beanie. I'm gonna try to out hipster you next year. I'm trying every year.
Yeah, you think we're gonna do this next year?
So that's the other thing. We gotta announce it. We are back, baby. We are back. We're back.
Well, yeah, we should talk about it.
Yeah, we're back, right? We're back, guys.
We have a Discord channel.
We're back for right now. We do have a Discord channel, and there's us in it.
Yeah, so we'll be sharing that link if you want to join us on Discord.
There's things that different threads, hashtags. You can share stuff on it. You could show off your animation. You could show off a game you're making. You could post funny things.
I would just like people to participate. What was your top 6 movies and video games, and add to these lists? That would be awesome.
Yeah, that.
I'll change one of the channels to Mikey's top 6.
And yeah, that would be great, because then what would be helpful is like we're gonna, I don't know how briefly or how in depth you want to talk about, but our most anticipated list of movies the next year, right?
Well, before you do that, can I just have a couple honorable mentions?
Oh yeah.
So do I, actually. Of course.
Yeah.
Go for it, Pete.
First honorable mention goes to the movie Yesterday.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen
it. It's a movie about it takes place in a universe where the Beatles never existed.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
But it's not. I guess most of the movie does take place in that sort of a universe. And holy shit, some of the acting, like the people listening to these songs for the first time that we all take for granted, like Let It Be, and the people listening, like the first time somebody heard Yesterday, and just their emotions in their faces and everything of like how beautiful the music is.
Mm-hmm.
Man, really, really, really well done. Like, and that, I honestly think it could have been. It's kind of listed as a comedy, but it really shouldn't have been. Kate McKinnon, I love her as a comedian, but she did not belong in that movie.
Mm.
Yeah, she's for totes a comedy actor in my book.
Yeah.
She is hilarious.
Because I felt like, no offense to her, but I felt like watching that, I was waiting for that comedic situation, and it never happened because it's not that kind of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
so I think that
Kristen Wiig factor also. She's doing better now, but like in The Martian, when she showed up, I was like, she's going to make some jokes. Oh no, you're just the PR lady? Okay, cool. Sorry. Misunderstood.
That must be a hard thing to break.
Yeah.
You know?
Jim Carrey still can't do it.
Yeah.
And my other one was Toy Story 4. I really miss those really touching stories that the Pixar of old used to tell, and this felt very genuine to the way they used to tell stories. And I don't mean that saying that the stories they're doing now isn't as good as then, and I guess I just have a nostalgia factor for it, and I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I did. I wanted to try, so I tried so hard to believe that the end, that no, 3 was the best. 3 was the best. Like I'm happy. I was happy with the way 3 ended, but the way they did this was really like warm.
Yeah, I feel like you could do a whole episode, honestly, on this movie, because I don't quite agree. That doesn't mean it wasn't good, but my main thing is just that I'm pissed at the ending. I think that's like almost like a personal thing you can have towards that ending. So,
yeah.
Technically, it looked great, though.
Yeah.
Some fucking amazing stuff in that movie.
Those are all my
all right.
honorable mentions.
Really briefly, honorable mentions, talking about having more female directors, female content. Booksmart. Go watch Booksmart if you want to watch like it does a disservice calling it this, but like a girl version of Superbad, basically. Two teenager girls last night before graduation, they want to get crazy. It's fucking hilarious. It's really good. Second honorable mention, Knives Out. Rian Johnson's whodunit murder mystery thing. Very enjoyable. Probably the most fun you'll have at the theaters this entire year, except for Spies in Disguise, of course. If you're as smart as me, you may have already figured out who done it from the trailers, because I'm a thinking man's man. But that said, even though I did get some aspects of it right, there were still twists to be had. And actually, the reveal that I figured out came like in the middle of the second act, and there was more to unfurl.
James Bond did it. James Bond. From the trailer, you can tell James Bond did it.
Sure. If you think that. You stupid bitch. Another honorable mention, Klaus. We already talked about it. And then the final one is a movie that I've been trying to track down, and it's actually pretty hard to find, although now it's available on Amazon Prime, and I think you should pay to watch it, because I'm sure this guy didn't make a lot of money on it. It's a movie called Away, and it is an animated film done entirely by one man, including music, including modeling, including rigging and animation and everything. And it's sort of like a tone poem type thing. It's basically about a kid who gets marooned in a strange land, and there's a big giant black monster that's chasing him, and he's basically traveling across a very surreal, cool looking landscape while he's traveling with a little bird in his backpack. And he goes from like one end of the island to the other, and there's lots of cool locales in between. I thought it was very well done, considering it was done by a guy who's like 25 years old. It can get a little slow. Yeah. And the animation is like, if we're being honest, it's like a layout pass of animation. There's not a lot of acting or anything. Did you see it, Jeff?
I did.
You did?
I did.
I like the design of that movie is legit cool. And I was reading some interviews with that guy, and that whole movie is just play blasts. But based on the design that he had and the style of it, he got away with it. It's a very cool looking movie.
Yeah, it's kind of rendered flat.
Yeah, it is.
So definitely has its own aesthetic to it. But yeah, it just gets a little slow at times. But I did not know the director was 25 years old and stuff. It's like definitely shows a lot of potential.
Yeah, there was like a Variety article / review that basically said like, this is definitely a guy to keep an eye on for future stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would agree.
I don't want to get too much in depth in my stuff, but Ford versus Ferrari is worth checking out if you're into watching a testosterone driven fun movie. Well executed, super well executed movie. Everybody's already seen it. It's not worth talking about, but Avengers Endgame was really good. especially like if you're trying to put together all like it's a master class in like trying to tell 10,000 stories or jamming so many characters in and weaving them together. Like having that many characters, I couldn't imagine a movie that would work, and it does.
Yep.
I don't know. Saw a bunch of other ones, but I feel like that's Judy was crazy acting. I will say that. Like, Jesus Christ, Renee Zellweger, so playing Judi Dench.
Oh man, yeah, I want to see that. Her life was kind of tragic.
That's the word for it. That whole movie can be categorized that because you're not watching Judy Garland when she's like, Wizard of Oz. Like you're watching her back half of her life where things start to slip, and you're watching how that plays out. So it's a little hard to watch at times, but it hits you. It hits you right in the gut. So I enjoyed it, not enjoyed it. That movie type thing again. So let's move on to our most anticipated. Maybe we can run it down a little bit more quickly. Maybe.
Yes, let's do that. Yes.
Yes, maybe a little bit more quickly. We'll pick out the movies we actually want to talk about in more depth.
Yeah.
Great, got it. Okay, so 2 movies coming out the same weekend. Bob's Burgers. I love that animated series.
Yeah.
So I would really like to see that. And then coming out that exact same weekend, unfortunate for Bob's Burgers, is Tenet.
Yeah.
So Tenet that is the movie I'm looking forward to the most because they're always unique stories. Christopher Nolan is just a badass in terms of like just making movies. I just sit there the whole time with my jaw open. Love his stuff. So looking forward to that.
Yep, that's on my list too.
It's not on my list.
I'm just going to keep running down mine. Just for lighthearted stuff, Downhill is a movie with Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It's just a comedy. Guy basically bails on his family during an avalanche, and nothing comes of the avalanche, but it's basically he just bailed on them, and they have to be like, you ditched us, and then they have to deal with that. And then Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that looks fun.
So that looks like a new take. There's a movie called The Woman in the Window, which looks pretty intense. Amy Adams basically plays a woman with she's like agoraphobic, super scared of going outside in social situations, and she believes she sees a murder. And it's like, did she see it? Is it her mental issue, making her see things? It's done by the same people as that did Gone Girl, so I'm guessing there's going to be some major twist. It feels like it's sort of that, did you see Gone Girl? All right, this is going to be the same thing. It feels like it might be that, so I'm a little worried about how that third act is going to play out. And then BIOS. I don't know if you guys have heard about this with Tom Hanks. It's like a post-apocalyptic world. He's the last man on Earth. He's dying. He has a dog. He doesn't want it to not have somebody to take care of it, so he is building a robot to take care of his dog after he's dead. Like, wow, that sounds intense. That's it for me.
Beautiful list. Beautiful list, Jeffrey. Petrie?
Mine are pretty straightforward. I don't know if it's coming out next year, but Chicken Run 2. I loved the first Chicken Run.
There's a Chicken Run 2?
Apparently.
Cool.
I got this information from that Letterboxd app you suggested last year.
Oh, yeah. I don't use that anymore.
See, that was so last year.
I just don't use apps.
Somebody else started using the app, and it was too many people for Michael.
Oh, shut up. Fuck up.
Call of the Wild, Harrison Ford movie. SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah, that looks fun.
Yeah.
Looks really beautiful. A Quiet Place 2.
That's on my list.
Nope.
Top Gun.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I just I didn't want to upload or have an entire list of sequels because we're supposed to be against that. But then when I built my initial list, it was all sequels. I was like, oh no, I'm part of the problem. But yes.
And Fonzo. Fonzo. That's the movie about Alfonso Capone, the gangster from the 30s.
And we all know you love 30s gangster shit.
Yeah. So
nice.
But going back to Top Gun, what sold me on that was, I think it was Rich Fournier sent something out, like a video of how they're shooting this movie, and they're actually putting the actors in jets and have these wide angle cameras on them and like pushing them through these G's, and like so like you see their faces distorting in there, like it's not CG, it's real.
It's cool.
You know, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, gotta put that old man Tom Cruise through the paces.
It feels like there's actually a story to tell. It's like drones are taking over. You were the hot shit, now you're not. And Tom Cruise is like, well, not yet. And just the trailer says everything. So it's gonna be
honest with you guys.
Yeah,
I've never seen Top Gun.
You didn't, it.
Glad they're making a sequel to it then. Yeah, I've told that to many people and they're like, yeah, whatever. It's not that good.
That's the problem, is like I wouldn't be like, oh my god, you haven't seen it. Like when you originally hadn't seen Back to the Future, it's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You haven't seen Back to the Future? What are you doing? You have to see that. Top Gun's like, yeah, you're gonna hate it. You would hate it. You can't watch if you didn't watch it then, you can't watch it now.
Yeah.
All I know is a lot of volleyball bromance stuff.
It's pure 80s, just nothingness.
Yeah. 80s all over your face.
Yep.
Oof. Science all over your face.
Yeah.
That's a Spies in Disguise.
Can't believe we got that in the movie. There's a couple things in Spies in Disguise that I can't believe got in the movie. Man, that's one of them. I'm going to science all over your face. And a bird takes a nipple in the mouth. How is that allowed?
I animated that shot. 24 frames.
How did that make it?
Because it's 24 frames long.
I'm convinced they did not know it was a nipple. Whoever the PC police or Disney or whoever, there's no way they knew that was a nipple. They must have been confused.
People are going to find it.
Man.
It's a skin tag. A very long, dangly skin tag.
Ooh, yeah. Look for that. Made it past censors with that one.
All right. My most anticipated movies of 2020 is all the home movies I'm going to take of my new son. All right. Also, A Quiet Place Part 2. Looking forward to that. Opening up the world, making it bigger and cooler. I'm down. Also, that one shot with the bus in the trailer, pretty cool. Movie number 2, new James Bond, No Time to Die. Love that spy shit. Number 3.
Is he in disguise?
He might be. He's been in disguise before. Number 3, Antlers. Movie produced by Guillermo del Toro, directed by some other guy that I don't remember, with the little kid, and his dad is like a weird, crazy beast monster thing, and he's got to feed him food, and he gets out, and it's terror on a small town.
There you go. Sounds awesome. Right up Berardini's alley.
You know, that father-son shit. And the father's a monster. It speaks to me.
Oh, I have a story. I told... Sorry, I just want to take a small jag. I'll talk about my kid. Eat it.
Okay.
I told Mackenzie's hair was absolutely atrocious this morning. My 3-year-old.
As it is.
And I told her, I was like, Mackenzie, your hair is a mess. It makes me feel like a bad dad sending you to school like that. She just very calm. She's like, you're not a bad dad. And then she allowed me to put a hair tie in her hair. I was like, it was so sweet. It's so sweet. She can be such a...
You're like, oh, I will
But it's like
leave me.
Yeah, I could tell she was like genuinely like, whoa, no, you crossed the line. You're not a bad dad. It was very sweet. Anyways,
you should show her that animated short, Hair Love.
you think?
Yeah. Have you haven't seen
That's
it?
ever.
I absolutely have seen it. I've seen all the shorts this year.
I did see that one.
It's a good one. It's sweet. All right, my number 4, Tenet. We already talked about it. Christopher Nolan, stuff going in reverse. Fucking love that shit. Number 5, just put it in there because I thought it'd be fun. The Monster Hunter movie.
They're making a movie.
Yep, directed by the guy that ruined all the too.
Oh man!
And Mila Jovovich is in it.
How is she?
Oh no!
Why is she in it?
It's gonna be such a train wreck. I can't wait. And then probably my most anticipated movie on the list outside of Tenet is Dune.
Oh,
Sci-fi movie with Denis Villeneuve, who did Arrival, Prisoners and stuff. This movie that people have been trying to make forever. Haven't been very successful. Even what's-his-face that did it. That was fine. This is an old, boring movie. This one's going to be fucking legit.
Well, we'll see. It seems everybody says it's an unfilmable book, right? So
you cut out. But yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And we'll keep this moving.
All right. So moving on. That's our list, right? That's it.
That's it.
That is our list. I do have some lists.
Honorable mentions
of the decade.
Oh, go for it, Pete.
These are my personal favorite games of the decade.
Oh wow.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Good.
Celeste.
Good.
Perfect choice.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because it's one of those things that you like, I should have thought of that. You know?
Yeah.
And it works so goddamn well. Inside.
Yep.
Overwatch.
Okay.
Stardew Valley.
Sure.
Outer Wilds.
I still got to play it.
Sword and Sorcery.
Yeah, but there's no way. Was that 2010? Wow.
2011. A game called To the Moon.
Ooh, I played that one.
Yeah.
Emotional.
Destiny and Minecraft.
That is a very good list.
Minecraft? When did Minecraft come out?
I want to say I didn't look that one up, but I remember playing it when I was at
it enough this decade. Sure.
Yeah, I remember playing it. Starting to what's Minecraft? When I was still at Blue Sky. So,
dude, I'll never forget. Maybe I got on the Minecraft because my buddy Ben showed it to me, and it was like, there's a guy on YouTube, David X or something. He was like one of the first guys to put like a Let's Play of Minecraft on that, and we would just like fucking whole hog that series and play at the same time, and that was like a really, really, really fun time. That was like right after college for both of us, and we were just nonstop playing that game. Very fond memories with early Minecraft.
Yeah, and those are the things you'll take with you for years to come. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. I didn't. Anything else, Pete?
I have some movies.
Yeah.
Like my favorite lists.
Yep.
Let's see. Ex Machina. Arrival. Annihilation. Spider-Verse. Gravity. Guardians of the Galaxy. Lego Movie. The Martian. Rogue One. Blade Runner 2049. And A Quiet Place.
Oh man, last good couple years for you then. A lot of those are coming from the last half of the decade.
Yeah.
I respect your lists very much, Pete.
Thank you.
Good stuff right there.
Cool, man. Do you guys want to spend any time to talk about Star Wars, or we're gonna move that to another time? I mean, there won't be another time anytime soon, but that was our last topic. If you wanted to talk about Star Wars.
I would love to talk about Star Wars if you guys have the fortitude for it.
Sure, one last time into the fray.
All right, we should say ahead of time, spoils coming. We can't talk about this without spoilers. Spoils coming. If you haven't seen it, it's impossible you haven't seen it. You've seen it, so let's talk about it. Let's just start at what we thought about it. I loved it.
I enjoyed it.
I liked it. I just felt like it had no heart.
Oh,
I would agree with that a lot.
Man, see, this is the case where I watched it in a very like non-crowded theater, and it was better that way for me. I didn't have to hear the audience either liking it or not liking it. I got to make up my own mind, and I don't know, everything that was supposed to punch me, it did. I liked it.
Well, I mean, it was all completely manufactured to punch you where it was supposed to.
Yeah, but let it. Why not let it?
Based off of what you're just saying, the part that punched me the most was when you thought Chewie died, and they reversed it.
Right.
It should have happened.
Yeah.
I think if they just let that be,
they should have done that. They should have done that on the Last Jedi as well. They should have let Leia go there too, huh? I mean, it's like if you're ending a series and letting it go, like why the reversal? But
yeah.
All right, so here's my thing, and
okay.
I went back and I looked at my notes that I had for the podcast for The Last Jedi, and I think I didn't go back and listen to that, definitely, but I probably came across as fucking despising that movie. In the couple of years since, I've warmed up to it more. There's a lot of stuff that I really, really, really despise in that film that is nowhere to be found in The Force Awakens. But the core theme of Last Jedi, and basically Luke's whole thing where, Jedi need to die and they were like unbalanced and everything, and anyone can be a Jedi because the Jedi can't control because the Force is everywhere. I thought that was fantastic. Or at least I think that is fantastic now. Then you jump to the new Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and it just feels like they're just pissing on everything that came before Jedi, which I'm sure is a reaction to the way most of us fans felt when Last Jedi came around. But to have a movie within a trilogy sort of essentially feel like they're ignoring a part of the trilogy, even if you don't agree with it, it felt like they were just ignoring all of these threads, and then they're just fucking throwing Palpatine into it. Like it didn't. Like you can't just have a main baddie show up. There's so many fucking things wrong with this movie.
I liked it.
You know what was great? Is today, in fact, I read an article about when the hell did Palpatine fuck? And that was the title of the article. Because they deduced, based on the age of Rey's father, that it would have happened after Mace Windu fucked him up royally with his lightning. So he was an ugly motherfucker.
Ultimate power! Yeah, I don't know. There's all sorts of stupid ass fucking plot contrivances in there. Okay, so they're all going after this like holocron bullshit thing, the special key that tells them how to get to the fancy planet at the end of the fucking shit. It's all crap. I feel like I'm getting as worked up as I did with The Last Jedi.
No, dude, please keep going.
Okay, so if you go back and watch Return of the Jedi, okay, that's when Palpatine goes on to the Death Star being built. He has that little fucking key to his fancy planet somewhere in his pocket because he's never been on that Death Star before. So he brought it so he could bring it and put it in the safe that's on the side of the room in the Death Star that's not fully built yet to store his special key to the planet that no one can get to. And then the Death Star explodes and crashes on the far side of Endor. We've seen where the fucking explosion takes place. It's in the sky. You don't see any pieces flying through the air, falling down on the planet. Regardless, you see half of the fucking Death Star in the ocean on this planet. Who knew there was even an ocean on Endor? Sure didn't look like it to me before. Anyway, you have some jagged edges of what looks like a Death Star in an ocean. And somehow, after like 20 years of erosion, someone has a knife that accurately measures the jagged edges of the fucking Death Star that tells you exactly where that little safe that Palpatine put his key in the vault to find the fucking thing to go find his shit. Crap.
Can I please express my hatred for the Knights of Rey?
The emo band that doesn't do anything?
The fucking wannabe fucking wraiths from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
They even have the helicopter shot of them standing on top of the mountain.
Oh, yeah, that one made me laugh. They're just like looking around, doing nothing.
They do nothing, and they don't talk about them. And they even have the Lord of the Rings like when they show up on screen every time.
Yeah,
fucking lame.
Oh no.
Now, all this said, the movie is fun. It's like a fun adventure. You have to turn your brain off. My problem is Force Awakens like introduced characters that I really cared about. Last Jedi sort of fucked it up for me, and then I cared less. Rise of Skywalker, I could not give a fuck about any of these characters. And then, cherry on the cake, they fucking make Rey and Kylo Ren kiss. They felt like a brother and sister to me the entire time. That kiss came out of fucking nowhere, and it was unearned and felt like a weird movie trope that they just slid into place because horny fucking teenage fans wanted to see it.
But I didn't see it as a romantic kiss. It took me by surprise for sure, but I don't think it was meant like it was romantic.
I mean, do you often kiss people on the lips? Not romantically, Jeff?
No.
Do you want to try that tomorrow? Do you want to just have a friendly kiss on the lips tomorrow?
I just feel like it was they went through such an intense situation that it didn't seem like it was completely like, oh God, we're trying to make I don't know, because they didn't do anything with it either.
Well, because he fucking disappeared.
Just like
that whole kiss. That made their like force connection that they had in The Last Jedi and then carry on in this movie just turn into fucking horny teenagers. It's like it was a joke on the internet when she was like accidentally forced into him when he had his shirt off or whatever. But now it's like, yeah, maybe she willed that situation in because she wanted to see him without a shirt so they could kiss later. It's all stupid.
There was a lot of great visuals. It was fun and fast paced. It never got boring. I don't know. I just let myself like it. Like I went in there wanting to like those characters, and I was hoping there just wouldn't be anything so over the top to bother me like there was in the previous one.
I went in there with no expectations. And
mine were pretty low.
And I was entertained, but it wasn't a Star Wars movie to me. It didn't get the ending it deserved. If this is truly the end, you know, it's missing that heart.
We've already had the ending of Star Wars. This is just the cash cow Star Wars now.
I mean, that's how I felt about Toy Story.
Yeah, sure, that's fair.
I don't know. Like,
I Chris Terrio, I think, is one of the writers on Star Wars. It seems like he's been doing a lot of damage control lately. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he said in one of the interviews was, because I think someone asked about like how long the movie was, and he said, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this movie because we had to get to where we needed to go, and I wish the film could have been broken into 2 films. And to me, that was reading as Ryan Johnson took us astray with Last Jedi. This was the plan that JJ had from the beginning for the trilogy, and now we're just slotting episodes 7 or 8 and 9 into one film to get what JJ wanted.
Right.
And it just felt like they're not using what came before it, even if they didn't agree. I don't know. It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
It was for me. It was too complex. It was like to be a Star Wars movie. It just felt like there was just too much stuff you had to keep track of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the good thing is we still have the episodes 4, 5, 6, which I think for everybody, that's Star Wars. That's not going to change. So 1, 2, and 3, I have no plans of ever seeing again. And I liked the last 3. I really did. Especially 9 is, I really liked it. But do I ever want to see it again? Nope. I have no plans to ever see it again.
I will say the original trilogy, somebody has quote unquote despecialized it, and you can find it, and it's really well done.
Yep.
You can find it somewhere. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, there was a website for a while that you could watch it that way.
But you can order it on Blu-ray and stuff now. You probably have to go through their website and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's remarkable what they were able to do. Yeah. So, anyway.
Well,
anything else we're gonna say? More to say, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say about how it ends an entire 40-year franchise, but oh well.
Oh, I remember. I was incredibly disappointed that they did not have. If there was going to be a kiss in the movie, I wanted the kiss to be Finn and Poe.
You're right.
Because that's of all the earned relationships in those movies, they're the only 2, in my opinion, that have any chemistry / romance in the small amounts of time that they're together. And I think that would have been very progressive and a very good thing to do. And even Oscar Isaac in interviews has expressed how disappointed he is that they didn't hook up. I madly respect him throwing shade. Him and John Boyega throwing shade at Disney for not having them hook up.
There was something on Twitter a couple of days ago about a cut that J.J. Abrams wanted, but Disney wouldn't allow it.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to bring up. Supposedly, there's a director's cut out there that's over 3 hours long that could potentially fix a lot of these problems. I doubt that those 2 still would kiss or anything, but could be. I don't know. It could just be a rumor that us fans who are always unhappy about everything are making up to try to appease ourselves that JJ didn't fuck us, corporate Disney did or something. But I don't know. If it's out there, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, just for curiosity's sake, yeah.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people's problems with the movie is, like Pete was saying, it moves too quick and there's too much stuff going on. And I think if you just gave it more time and more setup and payoff for all these things, it could work better.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if we have the same sort of review on Ghostbusters 3, because that is a franchise to be careful with. Not on the same level, but...
No, dude,
I don't give a shit.
That is actually striking an interesting parallel, because the first one was fantastic. The second one was kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then, they rebooted with... Can we count the Kate McKinnon one as...
I think that's an alternate universe, right? They don't address the original Ghostbusters, but this does acknowledge that the Ghostbusters were a thing in the 80s. So this is a linear progression.
So. Okay. I didn't realize that it was an alternate universe, but that makes total sense. Yeah, but what about? Well, no, I was gonna say the real Ghostbusters cartoon, but
Right.
I love that fucking cartoon.
It was bizarre. Yeah. It used to piss me off because I wanted to know where Peter Venkman and all that were, and I just didn't quite get it. I was just a little too young to understand what the hell was going on.
Yeah, there's some pretty crazy designs in there.
All right. Well, we're gonna keep the podcast coming back now and again. We're not scheduled to be our every other week to once a month thing, but we're gonna be back sometime. Michael's giving the look like he hasn't signed on, but he will. He'll be here. March. He's gonna want to talk about his baby, and he's going to. Right, everybody? Get on that Discord. Say, Michael, come back.
Yeah. If anyone gives a shit, tweet me and say.
Do you know, you're asking people to have sat through a 4-hour podcast to the very end to say, tweet you.
Yeah. The only people that made it this far are the people that give a shit if this podcast continues to go.
Man, that is asking something. All right. Help Mr.
If I get over 20 responses, we're in.
20 responses.
Do we count?
No.
All right. Well, this has been.
We can't tweet about it either.
No, I won't.
No, we can't tweet about it because then that defeats the purpose, right?
We still wouldn't get 20.
No, I get like 1 like on every tweet I do. I don't have many followers. Everybody get on this Discord. How do they find it, Pete?
It'll be in the description of the YouTube channel.
Nice.
And I'll also put a link out on Twitter.
Tight.
So,
All right.
if you want to join the Discord channel, feel free.
Well, it was nice getting back together with the gang.
Sure was.
That's
fellas.
true.
I'll see you in March after GDC. This has been Just a Few More Minutes podcast, where 3 veterans of the animation and video game industry talk about exactly that. Animation and video games. You'll get my audio later, guys. You'll hear it later. God. All right.
I swear to God.
Good night, everybody.
There's such good shit in this episode, man.
We cannot do a podcast. You can't even fucking hear your audio.
Get out of town.
This is the perfect one to end on because we started with terrible audio and now we're ending with